How's that sounding, everyone? Just gonna check this right now. And you're gonna get a horrible echo, probably. Oh, very good. Audio is crackling. I wonder why we're crackling. Let me have a little listen. That's probably because I've got the gain too high. Hang on a second. Let me just adjust my gain. Oops, that's not the room. Check, check, check. Check, 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 check. Is that a little better? Tell me how that's doing. Sounds good. Audio's fine for River Song. All right. Well, it's better than no audio at all. Generally, that's how it goes around here. Hey, I don't have my glasses. Oh my gosh. This will be interesting. You know what? Let me run up and grab my glasses, and then I'll come back so I can actually read the chat. It's hard for me. It won't be pretty watching my eyes disappear into my head while I do this. Unless I've got reading glasses down here, which is sometimes possible. All right, I'll be back in a sec. All right, here we go. I think that's it. Woohoo! Hello, interwebs. Oh, all right, I could turn off that so I don't have to hear my own voice. God knows you have to listen to me, not me. Why should I have to? Wow. Wanted to contact you about a server thing for TechBandits. I tried on Tech Talk, but had to leave before y'all read my comment. Oh no, Game Buster. That sounds amazing. Best way to touch base with me is via the email. This is my internet-facing email. I think that's it. Is that right? There you go. Yeah, that's your best bet. And I apologize if it takes me forever to get back to you. There's a ton of stuff I need to be looking at, which of course I'm not. So yes, welcome everybody. I guess I should focus. Look at that. Ooh, let me just focus on the stash. You may want to make sure that stash is completely. Oh, look at that. You do not want to lose any of the quality of that beautiful mustache, which needs to be trimmed back because it's looking way too rock and roll for the parts that I'm playing right now. I'm doing a Jerry. No, you know what's funny, Dave, is that I wish I was doing a Jerry. I need to be way more on top of this stuff like Jerry is. I'm actually sitting today for the first time in a long time because my wretched wife said, "Oh, darling, why don't you join me? Join me for a dog walk this morning." And I thought, "Oh, great, I'll go out for the dog walk." Oh my God, she walks for miles. I'm like, it's 11 o'clock. I gotta go back. I gotta talk to my unfit nerds. So yeah, River Song's cracking up her kids today. First day of school, they can't stop laughing at the sad faces on Zoom that keep flashing by because people forgot to mute. You know what's funny is my kid is actually at school, so he's physically at school right now, and I've got to say, I'd be a little nervous. Not only do I miss him immensely, which is ridiculous, and I don't know what I'm going to do because, frankly, I'm the worst parent ever. I'd rather he didn't have any friends, any social scene, and that he just hung out with me the whole time. Perhaps that's not the most sensible parenting approach, but frankly, that's the way I like it. I wish he wasn't at school. I wish we could just learn stuff together at home, but that's not to be because he doesn't listen to me. Anyway. Anyways, well, good. Well done, his River Song. If you can get some amusement out of watching the gloomy faces on Zoom, then good for you. Ilya Rakorn, I'm already done, literally and metaphorically. Yeah, basically, it's just after 11 o'clock, 11:20. Sorry, a little late. And I'm basically physically and emotionally exhausted already. So the kid went off with his little mask on and leapt out of bed this morning, despite going on about how much he hated going back to school. And of course, their key is just exhausting him and then putting him to bed early. It was quick. There's a drive-by Zaw. Hang on one sec. See if you get a little bit of Zaw. Zaw may come by. I just saw a tail wander by, so I don't want you to miss out on this. I need to figure out the picture-in-picture thing, but frankly, it's taken me so long to sort out even just a vague attempt at cable management has been somewhat difficult for me. All right, I'll try to get her back if I see her come by. I'll throw it up, or We'll probably get to watch her throwing up because she's been eating lots of plants and stuff today. So still trying to wake up. It's slow going. Yeah, Jaspin, I'm with you. Doggo, yes, Australian llama. We got the dog. I'm also anxious AF. Techniques. Really? Nicole's daughter looks like Baz's sister. That's hilarious. Well, Nicole's daughter, I'm trying to think of what age she'd be. Is she younger or older than Baz? I can't remember whether we had Baz or not when Nikki was on set. I saw Nikki for such a short time on Stargate because we never actually worked together, which sucked. I was like, guys, of all the episodes to do, you have to do one where we're on different freaking planets. That's Nikki. That's my cube, Nikki. And I also did a show called Beyond Reality with her, where I got to have a crush on her, which was not difficult, should we say? It was like a character that like fantasized about being like a James Bond like suave date to Nikki DeBoer's character, and then of course the reality was a bit of a disaster. In fact, we were doing a scene. I was doing a scene with lovely woman Sherry Belafonte. So Sherry Belafonte and I were doing a scene together, and we had to do we're sort of like, I can't remember, we were trapped in a closet or something, and I turned around, with my hands in the air type thing, feigning fear, and by accident sort of slapped her breast, and she sort of went, you touched my boob, and I was devastated. Like, I have never been so embarrassed in my life. And she just laughed at me because it was obvious that it was a complete and utter accident, and I was mortified. So there you go. It's my dubious honor. I thought she was absolutely lovely. Just made everyone laugh and all that stuff. I did not announce stream on Twitter, Australian Llama. That is a very good point. I guess I should do that, shouldn't I? I told everyone it was going to happen at 11, but I guess people forget, don't they? I know I do. Unless I'm reminded about these things, I never tend to remember. Not Twitch, you idiot. Twitter. Too many right, Twitter. Here we go. I think what I'll do is I'll do a little retweet, or should I do a photo? I don't have my phone with me because it's upstairs charging. What we got? Right, what we got? Let's go to here. We'll take that little shot of the dog and do that one, shall we? I'm going to retweet, quote the tweet. I'm going to quote that tweet. What the heck? What's going on here? I never use the PC version. I only ever use it on my phone. All right, here we go. I'm going to quote the tweet. And I'm going to say, live now. Come and have coffee with me. Coffee with me. And then I'm going to have to type that giant freaking URL again. Although, you know what I did? Finally, today, after years of saying, I should do this, I looked up how to add basically autofill to my iPhone so that it automatically will fill in the URL for me when I'm trying to tweet these things, because it always takes me forever. I've got my glasses on, but I still can't see anything. Does that mean my eyesight's getting worse again? Oh my God. I can't bear it. Live now. Come and coffee with me. I guess we should come chat and coffee with me. All right. Here we go. We'll do that. That's my little tweet. And then why don't I Facebook it? Because I know I don't understand why everyone's on Facebook, but for some reason people still like the Facebook. I don't quite understand that. The only way I really use Facebook is for the page, basically. Oh no, they've changed everything. They've changed the look of it, and I'm confused. They've changed the look, and I'm confused. How do I leave a message without making it? Because I have to have a personal account to have a. Oh, there you go. That's that. All right, that's fairly obvious. That's fairly obvious. All right, good. I think that's done. All right. So everybody, yeah. So I should say this is my Tuesday chat. This is about as laid back as it gets. I'm sitting. Normally I would be standing. I'm sitting because my wife has exhausted me with her damn dog walks. Up at the crack of dawn, sending the child off to school. Not at all anxious about that. God, I just hate it. At the best of times, I hate sending my child to school. But these days, I just worry about it. Yeah, so he's off at school now. He's got a half day. He'll be back probably before we finish streaming, knowing how long I tend to talk for. Yeah, so this is just a chat. Feel free to talk about whatever you want. My outdoor camera is struggling. Interesting. So my Stargate cam keeps rebooting. What do people use for these things? I mean, I don't want to spend like $200 frickin' on one of the old, these fabulous old USB ones. I think I want to go fully DSL with my cameras. This is an old NEX, which looks like crap on the screen here, but I actually quite like the grainy quality that I see when it's actually streaming. Is there no sound? Oh, no, wait a second, it's gone. Use an old cell phone. Facebook just changed the layout of September. I know, it's so irritating, isn't it? Okay, so obviously the chat is going crazy fast for me, and I apologize for that. Cal! What's that? Cal's already thanking people for what did I miss? Oh, fantastic! KG6J, thank you for the Twitch Prime subscription. Thank you, Cal, for being on that. Thank you, mods in general. Specifically Cal, because she puts up with all of my abuse at the same time. And I also, to be fair, put up with hers. Who else do we have? Is anyone else modding today? Do we have Ruby K in here as well? Or wrong glasses. Maybe I've got the wrong glasses. That's a really good point. Nope, right glasses. No, unfortunately, they are the right glasses. How is being back on set? Oh, that's a good question. Yeah, that is a good question. I gotta say, I don't like it. There are definitely two different ways of going with this. I have my, oh my God, what is happening with that camera? It just keeps rebooting. You know what? It's probably dead. Let me see. If I do this and I kill everything, I apologize, but I think that's gonna, there you go. I give up on I'm gonna have to give up on my Stargate cam for a bit, I think, because it just keeps rebooting. The Stargate cam is a GoPro, by the way, which I love, but because, but I guess because it has to have a battery in it, the battery wears down and the battery overheats, and then I can't figure it out. I'm sure there's a much better way of doing this that someone who watches Barnacles, I'm sure will be able to tell me. All right, so going back to work, yeah, it's very different depending on what production you're on. So I'm on two productions at the same time right now. Believe me, I wouldn't be unless I hadn't been unemployed for 6 months and my wife's movie my wife just had to push her movie for till next year, basically, because of sort of pandemic concerns and the financiers are getting all jittery, obviously, and that kind of stuff. So basically we're pushing till 2021 for the film, which is Kate's film, Kate's musical, which will be great. Jane has just been nonstop on that, but she's had to push. So basically, when I said, I don't want to go back to work yet, I don't feel comfortable, she said, you should get comfortable because it's a lot more uncomfortable to be hungry. So when given the option of being hungry or uncomfortable, I will go with uncomfortable over hungry any day, as you know. I'm not good hungry. You don't want to know me when I'm hungry. So I've gone back to work, and I'm doing a series. It's just a season of a series. Kind of a fun little part, I gotta say. Just sort of in and out, here and there, the odd day here and there, causing chaos, leaving again, shouting at people, that kind of stuff. And then I'm finishing up this movie I started, this Nightmare Alley with Guillermo del Toro. So it's basically the film it's the next film after Shape of Water that he's doing, and he was, I gotta say, I was kind of blown away. I got like this little email from him, and he invited me to do this film. It's like asked me if it was okay if I'd come and do his movie, and I was like, yes, no, take your Oscar, and no, it was like, so I did it. And originally it was a smaller part, and then now it's a bit of now I've got a very nice scene, I must say, that I'm quite excited about, and I get to play with some tech even. So, and it's got everyone in it. It's like, I mean, go check out the IMDb on that film. It's insane, the people that are involved in that film, and I get to work with some of them. So anyway, so that's what I'm doing. So the Canadian show, which doesn't have the same kind of money, or I guess the Screen Actors Guild of America rules, is a little more lax on their COVID stuff. Not lax, just a little bit more chaotic in their approach to it. Whereas Disney, who now owns Fox, which owns the movie, this Nightmare Alley movie that Guillermo's doing, that is locked down tighter than, there was a director I worked with that used to say, tighter than a nun's, a-hole, basically, is what this director used to scream at us when that's how fast he wanted the script delivered during this play that we were all doing about 16. I remember we were all shocked at that term. That term is burned into my brain because this crazy theater director used to shout it at us when we were, taking too long on stage with our scenes. Anyway, so that is locked down. You go in, you get a check at the car gates, you get a check at the door gates. There's like a checkpoint at the door. They're giving you specific masks. You have different ways in and out of the studio. It is really enforced incredibly strictly. Whereas the Canadian one is a little bit more like, just be responsible. Don't be an idiot. We're not gonna. I personally, in something like this, I want it to be a complete and utter, basically a fascist state when it comes to these things. I want to be told exactly what we're supposed to do, when we're supposed to do it, how we take masks on, how we put them off. I would like, not so much a government, but a healthcare professional to tell us exactly how things are supposed to be done, and that's kind of what's happening with Disney right now. Whereas the Canadian stuff is, as I say, just a bit more like, well, don't be stupid, look after yourself, wash your hands, wear your mask. But of course, you can't wear a mask while you're acting, right? So the mask comes off. Again, the chances are pretty low. They're testing us a lot too. There's only 100 and something cases in Ontario right now. And Ontario is a big freaking place. So, although most of them are in Toronto, to be fair. But I think they're basically focusing on prevention and tracking. So if something happens, they can figure out who's got it, and they can shut things down as they need to. So don't be an idiot. Sadly, doesn't have a good track record with humanity. Yeah, no kidding, Val. I saw this article. I should see if I can find it. This blog TO, and I just honestly, it was kind of like a gut punch. Let me see, blog. I quite like blog TO. It's this sort of local. This is for like Toronto stuff, and it had a little article about. There you go. That's it. Here's the article right there. And this just depressed the crap out. Let me depress the crap out of you right now by showing you this link. So here you go. This is the state of Ontario right now. So everyone's been fleeing to the countryside, obviously, because, what better place to go in a pandemic than out into the wild. But of course, what's happening is they're leaving all their freaking trash everywhere. So once again, humans proving themselves to be just disgusting. Averaging about 200 cases here in Colorado and a population of 5 million, so we're doing pretty well. We've got that Colorado. Okay, so Colorado. So what are we? I should see what's Ontario doing. So Ontario COVID numbers. There we go. So here we go. So we are at. Let's see what we've got. Where are our cases? Does it say, where are the numbers? I want to know how many today. Okay, so they keep changing the numbers. Depending on how dramatic they want the news to be, they'll say like, oh my God, over 400 cases over the last 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Instead of like whatever the deal is. So we are, Ontario cases. I don't know what the pluses are. Someone's got to figure it out for me because I can't figure it out. These numbers never make any sense to me. All right, let's look for new cases. Okay, new cases. We are, oh, no, we are up. Okay, so we're up to 247. We're up to 247 in a population of Ontario is of 14.57 million. So that's not bad. I mean, but still, the reality is it only takes one, right? Anyways, yeah. Well, this is what's so funny. So, Atticalus was saying that they were in Philadelphia when COVID hit, and everyone and their mother from New York City were there on exodus from the Pocono. Oh my God! See, that's it. So exactly. So people are leaving the city in droves, but of course these little communities then get overwhelmed if you have too many people there. So. What's Cal laughing at? I hadn't even noticed. Now that you mentioned it, he's kind of expelling words at Mach 5. Who, me? What do we got? Try to understand David, but too fast. My French ears is difficult. Ah, je suis très désolé. Tu was dev. Je parle très rapidement. Mais je ne parle les mots importants. I don't speak important words. Désolé pour ma français. How's that? Who, me? Yes, you. Hopefully no one is dying and they're just mild cases. Yeah, our death rate is, oh God, I mean, it's so weird to be doing, you look at the weather, you look at how many people are dying of COVID. It's such a weird process now, isn't it? Kids went back to school in Quebec last week and we've already seen an uptick in cases. Well, that's my concern. Merci, Tiwaz Dev. Apparently my accent's very good. Yes, very good. Yes. Excellent, in fact. I wish I spoke better French. I love it. Crackling Guy says, I don't have any trouble understanding him, but I also watch YouTube videos at double speed all the time. Yeah, me too. It's so funny. So as soon as I discovered you could do that, I've started doing that. I watch a whole bunch, because I like watching, the tech blogs and that kind of stuff. So sometimes I just want the info fast. Like I watched the entire NVIDIA release for their new 30 series of GPUs. I watched the entire thing at like 1.5 speed, but then of course had to go back 4 or 5 times to really pick up some of the details so I could discuss it with the bandits. Yes, what else we got? Kids, yeah, so Quebec's going up. I have a feeling Baz is convinced that we're going to be back in lockdown before Christmas. And Baz would know because he's a 12-year-old. What do we got? Do that with reading. I wish I could speed read. I can't speed read. It's like almost impossible for me to do. I think it's because of the ADHD. I tend to bounce around a lot when I'm trying to read, so I find it very, very difficult to focus, or I lose track. Either I sit down at a book and 4 hours go by and I don't even notice until my stomach starts grumbling with hunger. That either it's that or I just cannot focus. And recently I've had a very, very hard time focusing. Flu season will be interesting. Well, there shouldn't be a flu season, right, Cal? Because we're all just doing such a great job of social distancing, wearing masks and washing hands. There should be no flu at all this year, right? He says with great sarcasm. Local university numbers are climbing. Students don't even think they'll make the semester. Yeah, I don't think so either, Pac-Mom. I just don't know how they're gonna. I don't know how to do it. Oh, Australian Llama, go to sleep. Sorry, we depressed the hell out of Australian Llama already. Well, sweet dreams, Australian Llama. Dream of little llamas leaping over fences. You got the flu shot as soon as you could. I guess that's true. Brazil numbers from yesterday. Yeah. Oh, God. Yeah, that is crazy. Brazil, didn't you have a leader who was walking around saying, screw COVID, it's not important type thing? Oh, my God. Cubitera. Thank you very much. Another subscription. My God. We got 100 people on. Oh, my God. I tell you, that whole... I have to thank Barnacles for this, because Barnacles is sort of like taken me under his streaming wing and is sort of introducing me to the world of streaming in a way that I didn't really quite understand. So thank you, Sailor Death. I freaking love this, and I was doing it just with the kid, and then I started doing it with my bandits, and then I thought, sorry, that's not true. I started with the kid. I started doing it because I was really enjoying it, and Baz said, oh, you know what, you should do a stream on your own as well, because people always want to ask stuff, and they feel sort of guilty jumping in while Baz and I are playing together. I have not been playing with him a lot because well, first off, he wants to play with his friends, and I sort of feel like he needs to do that distancing thing. Much as I love the bonding, I love the gaming bonding. I think that will probably be reduced somewhat because he's got so many friends now he wants to play with, and I'm sure they don't want the old man hanging around. So take all our money, says Sailor Death. Oh, thank you, Straliator. I just couldn't get over the response of Barnacules' stream, just how engaged they are, what an amazing sort of community of people he's got there. I mean, I guess this is the beautiful thing about the streaming thing is you can find your specific niche, right? You can find exactly the kind of stuff you want to be talking about, which here seems to be just about everything. But I'm trying to sort of, well, I mean, I'm obviously happy to talk about Stargate, but I'm also looking for basically ideas and things to talk about with my TechBandits kids. So I should say, by the way, oh my gosh, Hype Train, fantastic. Thank you all. My gosh. Gamer Chick's doing it as well. Everyone's getting on this. Thank you, Gamer Chick. Dave, if I could do Tech Talk every week with Jerry, I would do it. With Jerry and Ox, it's just, for some reason, that show flows. Like, it's just got a rhythm. I mean, Jerry and I have very similar fast talking sort of approaches to things. I always prefer to be on streams with people smarter than me, which is generally any stream these days. But it's just kind of nice not to be talking about film and TV stuff. There's only so much of that I can talk about before it just, I just feel like the tech world is a lot more exciting to me. And the idea of being able to sit down and talk with nerds who know about, about the 30 series GPUs or the new AMDs, or yesterday, oh my God. So yesterday, complete and utter joy of catching up with Alan, whose name I never get his second name right, Alan Malaverano. I'm sorry, I'm butchering it. But Alan, who used to do PC Perspectives, is now at Intel. He was in the Navy running nuclear submarines. He was, he's just a freaking genius. And just having him tell me about basically walking me through how a nuclear submarine works in relation to our discussion about this Chernobyl series that I watched, which I really enjoyed. I got another one for you. I was watching, I don't know what channel it's on because I can't keep track of all the streaming things, but I just watched the first 3 episodes of Raised by Wolves, which I don't know if you know about. It is a what is it named? It's our Blade Runner guy, Ridley Scott. So Ridley Scott has done a sci-fi series called Raised by Wolves, and it's about androids raising kids, on an off-world colony, and it's I gotta say I'm sort of intrigued. It's not perfect by any means, and it doesn't seem to obey any of the laws of physics or thermodynamics in many ways, but at the same time, it really is kind of fun to watch. So. An email has been sent. Thank you, GameBuster. I will get to that. I keep missing your streams after Barnacules. I always see your announcements after the fact. Oh, no worries, Jasmine. Not at all. I mean, look, Barnacules, I'm sure, covers much more exciting stuff than I do anyway. So, I honestly, I don't know how Barnacules feels about this. Well, actually, I think I do know how Barnacules feels about this. I find this so crazy therapeutic. I mean, there's nothing like being insulted by Cal for a couple of hours and just sort of chatting randomly. It's like it's just kind of great. Okay, so Sailor Death's got a jet. Catch you later. Have a great day. Looking forward to seeing a new movie. Sailor Death's already bugging me to do another Dog's Breakfast. But Sailor Death, thank you for coming by. Much appreciated. Have a great day. Enjoy the hours that this day affords you. You start streaming at like 3 a.m. my time. Yeah, sorry, Kit. So I always miss it when you sleep schedule is more on the normal side. Well, then I'm very glad that your sleep schedule is on a completely not normal schedule then. The Mentalist. I remember The Mentalist. I thought he was very good, that actor. Jim Bongovog says, yes, Dog's Breakfast is amazing. Well, I was sort of joking because we've got a new dog now, right? We've got Zah. I'm now calling her Zah because it's just easier. So Zah is our new mutt of choice right now. And so I wondered if maybe it was time for a sort of an heir of the dog. Not a hair of the dog, heir of the dog, like H-E-I-R, I thought. Hmm. Aha. So Adaka, oh man, I'm never this Ada Kalis or Ada Kalis. Ada Kalis used to work night shift, so was asleep when I'd stream. Insult me, says Cal. I never. You are the most beautiful prehistoric human and wouldn't deserve such a thing. It's true. You don't want it. You can't abuse fossils. They fall apart, right? Thank you, Cal. I have to jump on a call about it. All right. About what? Turtle Princess. What's going on? What's going on? Their plans are being made. Pac-Man's already laughing at Cal. We got to stop that right away. Saw Bill and Ted yesterday. I thought it was a good cap to the saga. Nonsensical and a bit all over the place, but it has its heart in the right place to think, oh, good. We have watched 1 and 2, and I think Bill and Ted's Bogus Adventure should be just basically labeled a classic. There should be a Criterion edition of it. I think it's freaking genius. I think it's better than the second one, I think, Bogus Adventure. Although the first one was pretty great too. So I'm sort of a little nervous about seeing the third one with Baz because I'm just not sure it's going to live up to the hype, but I'll see. Alienist, Mentalist, and Alienist. I haven't seen Alienist. I only heard his accent when you said next time on the Mentalist. Gold. Kalis, but you have pronounced. Okay, so Ada Kalis. Got it. Okay, I'll never get it right again, but I'll try. You've pronounced it the same way most streamers do, so no worries. Ada Kalis. All right, Ada Kalis. Got it. I haven't got it. I'll never get it right. I have the word. It's like in this headphone, out the other, basically. Have you heard of a game called Factorio? It's a top-down logistical management sim where the goal is to automate as much as possible to eventually build a rocket to escape from the planet you're stranded on. Ooh, I do like the sound of that. All right, I'd have to check that out. Factorio. Okay, I'm going to cut it, paste it, put it in my history so that I'll remember to look. Or not. All right, great. Got it. It's in there. Good afternoon, Karem Kafo. Factorio's awesome. Very good. Hey, Binbash Dot. Of course you did, Binbash Dot. Shh. Because that is... That there is Unix talk, right? Isn't your name based on the bin dots and dashes of using Linux or Unix? Is that where you're getting it from? So once again, I have to thank Barnacles for sending you my way. What's Barnacles been going on about recently? I haven't seen his last couple of streams. Kitsilane. What's Kitsilane pushing? Oh yeah, more electronic drugs is what you mean. You got it. It is from Linux. Aha, see? Way back in the day. Back in the day, I used to know a little bit of this stuff. I'm so old, as Cal never fails to mention, that I do know a little bit about these things. Ridley Scott also announced a new upcoming Aliens movie. If you would like to work in with him, oh my God. Ridley Scott's done some of my favorite movies of all time, and some of my most hated as well, surprisingly. The Last Alien, I just despaired of the Last Alien film. I mean, there's some neat stuff in it, but this one's really interesting. This one's got some fun stuff in it. There's sort of a Metropolis feel to these, whatever they're called, the necroments or whatever the robots are. Animal Crossing, really? Okay, see if I got this right. No, I've forgotten already. I've already forgotten. See, isn't that awful? I have to write these things down. I'm actually going to have to write down how to say these things. Atticalis. Grinding on Animal Crossing. Okay, all right. That show confuses me. Which one, Techniques? Which one? The show that confuses you is The Alienist, or is it the Raised by Wolves? It's painful to watch. Pork chops for dinner, Xenos. Very good. I think it's chicken. There's a lot of chicken this week for us, I think. Raised by Wolves. Yeah, I don't so much find it confusing as I'm sort of curious to know where it's going. There's some beautiful effects. I mean, there's some really... It's amazing how seamless it is now to have a naked flying woman, as a part of a scene without it really... a naked flying robot woman somehow is just not that difficult to imagine somehow because of that. Jess Baker's addicted to Animal Crossing. So Baz was for a while. Jess Masker, sorry. Baz was on it for a while. I just thought it was too cutesy. I'm afraid. Look. If you leave me for this, I understand. But the Nintendo characters, I can't get into that type of animation doesn't do anything for me. I've never been a huge fan of that type of animation. Those weird looking heads and stupid flat looking animals and stuff. I much preferred. What was it called? Stardew Valley. I much preferred Stardew Valley's approach to that stuff. Jess Masker will convert me one day. All right, very good, very good. Good luck with that. Doom. Have you seen Doom played on a pregnancy test? Have you seen that? There's a video. Someone has hacked a pregnancy test to play Doom. I should find that for you. Pregnancy test Doom. It is rather extraordinary, I'd have to say. Is that it? I don't know what the best link to show you is for this stuff. Oh, here you go. It looks like it's a tweet. Why don't I just give the guy his credit as opposed to going through CNET? There you go. Okay, so it's a guy someone by the name of Foon, and they have hacked the pregnancy test. It's kind of genius. Let me send you this. Let me send you this link. All right, copy link. Oh, for God's sake! I just want to copy the damn link. Oh, Twitter, why do you have to make everything so damn difficult? So damn difficult. Damn it, Twitter. Why must you be so difficult? All right, here we go. So there you go. So this is I believe that's the right link. If I give you the right link. Yeah, there you go. So whoever this is, Bertley, thank you very much for the subscription. Wow, 11 months. It's been 11 months. Wow. So they've somehow managed to get a pregnancy test to, in very low-res format, play Doom. So it's kind of funny. Not hacked exactly. Replaced the display in the microprocessor, but yeah, he did take one apart to figure out how it worked. Oh, is that it? Oh, that's not as exciting. That's not so good. I thought they'd actually managed to hack the thing itself, the processor and everything. Women are gamers too. Yeah, no kidding. As they damn well should be. Why wouldn't they be, for God's sake? Can't stay long. Day job. Country 3D, how are you, man? How you surviving all this mess? Aliens was by far my favorite of the Alien series, and I'm sad we're unlikely to ever get the Blomkamp sequel now. Prometheus and Covenant were dreadful. It's not often, I guess. I leave a cinema wishing I could get a refund. Yeah, I know. I loved Alien. The first Alien I absolutely adored. I was amazed when I enjoyed Aliens as much, but they're two completely different movies. I don't even feel like they're almost of different. They're just different. They're different, like genres even to some extent. If you wanted to see a kind of a fun new take on the Alien thing, was a film called was it Life? It was a Ryan Reynolds movie. That was fun. I enjoyed that. Silly fun, but just I thought they did a good job of kind of creeping you out with that stuff. Alien is suspense horror. Alien is sci-fi life. Ha. No, sci-fi action. Sorry, I got the wrong way. It switched on me. So Alien is suspense horror. Yeah, Alien is sci-fi action. Yeah, absolutely. It's an action film. Completely an action film. Planet of the Apes the other day. Which one? Not Rise of the Planet of the Apes, perhaps. Watching me spread contagion throughout the planet. Yeah, more of a war film. It's so true. It absolutely was. Aliens was a war film. I've been doing Warcraft Classic. Wow, look at that. Hey, Kraus from Russia. How you doing? How are you Russians doing? The first is a hard, second is a hard. Oh, Russia. Don't you wish we could all just get along? We got all these people from all over the world. I don't understand. I feel like, is there not some way we could figure out how to sort of share this planet in a good way? Maybe that's part of the reason why I like Star. Well, I guess Stargate we're always complaining about the Russians too, weren't they? Anyways, welcome, Kras. Thank you for coming by. What else we got here? Ooh, rice cauliflower instead of rice. Ooh, because the texture's better. It tastes great. Really interesting. I gotta say, one of my favorite treats of late has been this place called Pizza Pizza here has these. They have cauliflower crust pizzas, and you know what? I mean, it ain't a deep dish pizza that I love, but it's actually pretty good. I gotta say. And then I was reading there was an article about lab grown meat, and they basically had a how to, a DIY, like how to grow your own meat. And I thought that would be kind of fun. I mean, creepy as all hell, but wouldn't that be fun to be able to like grow a burger in your basement and then hopefully not kill everybody in the process? Ah, Kras is apparently a big fan. Well, Kras, as you should be. I mean, what else would you be? Otherwise, you'd be Cal. I dream that someday you will come to the Comic-Con in Russia. There's a Comic-Con in Russia? When the restrictions with the virus will be lifted. Oh my God, I'd love to go to Russia. I've wanted to go there for ages. There's a number of places I've wanted to go, and Russia just absolutely. I'm just absolutely. I just want to experience it. Like I feel like I see so many movies. I see so many. There's so much information out there, both truthful and not truthful, I'm sure, about Russia, and I'm just very, very curious to see what it's like there. I worked with an actress who was from Russia, and I couldn't get over just the. I mean, I think she was some kind of a big businessman's daughter, so there was a lot of armed protection around her and stuff, and just her. Her world seemed so completely strange to me that I was just, I just find it interesting. Comic-Con has been playing TVX in Russia for 5 years. We have had many stars, but you are missing. Yes, please. I am missing. I didn't even know you had one. That's amazing. Slow mode's making it hard to correct myself. Yes, sorry about slow mode. Sorry, everybody. Merci, toi nous. Comment vas-tu? Très bien, merci, toi nous. Tous les familles est bon. Ma fille, my son, my fille. Et qu'est-ce que c'est? Comment on dit begin l'école aujourd'hui. Et je suis très sad. Just don't drink tea that Putin offers you. Oh my God! Now, have they officially said that they believe it was him or someone working for him that did that? Is that possible? Ooh, what's ostrich burger like? I went to an ostrich farm once by accident. And we'd stopped for, I thought it was like a rest stop, and there was maybe it was a rest stop, but there was like an ostrich farm attached to it, and I was just, this was long before I'd ever heard that you could do that. You just called your son a girl. That's okay. He doesn't mind. So comment on dit son en français? Ce n'est pas fille? Be curious to know what that is. Demolition Man. Whoa, that was great. Wait, is this D. Hewlett live? Holy crud. Anonymous. Yes, it is. Holy crud indeed. Or crap, as we would say here. That's crap. Crap's one of those words that I think is a bad word. Is not as good a word not as good a word. It's not as rude a word in England, I don't think, as it is in North America. So I got, it is fille. Oh, it's like, so it, yeah, fille. But isn't that what I said? I said fille. So it should be fille. I don't know. Son is fille. Daughter is fille. So I'm saying it wrong somehow. Sounds like fils. Okay, so fils. So ma fils. And comment on dit begin? Comment on dit begin en français? Fils. Ma fils. Et comment on dit begin? Commence, that's it. Damn it, I should have known that. Because commencement, that's like, whoa! I guess I changed my chair to allow myself to go back. Holy mother, have almost lost me. Boy, you're lucky I didn't wet myself there. Jesus, that could have been a disaster. When I first saw his son, I thought he's a girl. He sounded like one in that video. No offense, just saying. Oh no, he's got no binbash dot shell. He has no no concern about that stuff, which I got to say I love, because one of the things that I grew up with was that ridiculous was that ridiculous sort of toxic masculinity of, God forbid anyone called you gay, or you look like a girl, or you're acting like a girl, all that nonsense. I grew up with that, and I was very eager to destroy any of that kind of stuff with him growing up. And I've always said to him, he can do and be whatever he wants to be, as long as he doesn't hurt himself or other people. So that is my rules for him. Those are my only rules for him. Try using Fanny in England sometime. I know it's completely different. Yes, there's a few of those ones. French lessons from David. Oh, quel désastre! Mon aéroglisseur est plein d'anguilles. My aéroglisseur, my aeroplane, my aero something is is something. Nope, don't know. Sorry, James T.S. Aeroglide. American people get upset when I call Tim Tams a biscuit. I know they don't like biscuits. They don't like biscuits because biscuits is like biscuits and gravy. I think that's like, for many Americans, biscuits are like we'd say almost like scones, basically. Keep chatting English, please. David uses Duolingo for Pete's sake. Yeah, Cal's belief is this, if I may paraphrase for Cal. She believes that people start feeling left out if there's too much other languages happening in there. But oh wow, Bertley, thank you so much. Oh wow, Corporal Canada just got a gift from Bertley. Thank you, Bertley, and welcome, Corporal Canada. Corporal Canada. Wait a sec. So Cal, so we're not allowed to say, I'm French. Hello, everybody. Bonjour, Grimmy 59. I'm not going to try to do the numbers in French because I was never good at that. Stargate Atlantis watch party update. Not for me. Not lunchtime for me. I just had breakfast. You can always rely on K. Michael to ask about the watch party. So Sunday, I was supposed to film. At the very last minute, like at about like midnight the night before, they texted and said, we've made a change. We'd like to pay you for tomorrow and not make you work, which I'm always happy to do. There's this weird rule. There's a rule, basically, our union or guild or whatever it is says that if you don't cancel the day of shooting early enough, you have to pay them for it. So you don't get paid as much as if they actually filmed something, but you get paid. So, and my family was all visiting my dad and my mom, my stepmom. I've got two mums, basically. I'm very lucky. I mean, some people have like a mom and a stepmom. I basically have two mums, I have my very mummy mummy who's in England, and then I have my mum, very motherly mother here, who's Helen, who I just amazing. Anyway, so we had to go and visit, and I thought I would do that. And as I hadn't planned on doing a watch party, I thought it would just cause chaos anyway. So I don't know if I'm filming next Sunday, but potentially next Sunday, or maybe even we'll have to switch it. I've got to start moving things around a bit because now that school's started, I have to figure out what to do with TechBandits, because there's a lot of kids who want to still do it, or a lot of parents who want me to still do it. My sister, Moira, my other sister, the non-acting sister, well, she used to be an actor, but she was brilliant, frankly. But my brilliant sister, the one who's just a year younger than me, who is a teacher, she is, I think she's quite interested in helping out with TechBandits. So I think we might come up with some kind of an evil plan where we can allow people that we don't know, like kids that we don't know, to join in the chat to some extent. Hopefully without causing complete chaos, because I know how much fun I could have as a kid if I was suddenly allowed to join a chat that was being broadcast. So we've got to be a little careful on that stuff. Polynomial, that's a good idea. Like maybe just do it during lunch, during the lunch break. So I could stream from like 11 to 1 as always. And if people are, if any kids are, get a half an hour or an hour in there, then they could do that. So maybe I'll just stick with 11 to 1 then. Maybe that's the way to go. Can I talk a bit about the Hewlett family tree? That's interesting. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, so I grew up with, how many younger sisters? Moira, Jenny, Kate, and then Stephanie and Nikki. So I grew up with 5 younger sisters. I grew up with 3 of them. And then I was booted out of the house at 17, though my father's rewriting that history right now. He seems to think I wasn't booted out. But I said, Dad, if you hadn't kicked me out, I would still be here. So obviously you booted me out. I was not particularly, I was very good at acting. I mean, doing acting when I got acting jobs. I was not so good at getting acting jobs, or any jobs for that matter. I was very much like my son is right now. Don't tell him that. He better not be watching. You better not be watching from school, by the way, Baz. If you start chatting in here, I'll know. He's supposed to have his phone. His phone is supposed to be like in his locker, basically at school. So I got to make sure he's not actually on here listening and chatting away. Then we got Nikki and Stephanie, who my step, as I was going on about how great my stepmother is. It's her birthday today, actually. Happy birthday, Helen. I should make sure I do a little video with the family. We tend to do these little sing-song family videos for birthdays. So so Nikki and Stephanie are my stepsisters, or as I call them, my fake sisters. We just I fluked out on all of that because, frankly, all of my family's pretty mad, and pretty mad, pretty nuts, and then my stepsisters are a sort of a breath of sanity to the Hewlett clan, and so that's basically it. My mom is in England, she's in London, so I've got Moira, Jenny. So Moira is the one who's closest to me in age. Jenny is the next, but that's a bit of a jump. It's a good 4 or 5 years, I think. And then Kate's the baby. Kate's like 9 years younger than me, but obviously doesn't look after herself nearly as well as I do. And then where does Stephanie fit in? Stephanie would be a little bit older than Kate, I guess, and Nikki would be closer to Jenny's age, maybe a little younger than Jenny. I can't keep track. So anyways, I don't know. I get all their names messed up anyways. If you do some biology stuff with the Tech Bandits, I'm happy to help. Advice, lectures, whatever. Fantastic, James. This is the funny thing is I was talking to Josiah from the Odin, and he very kindly said he would send me a bunch of kits if we wanted to get the kids. So I could get a bunch of kits, send them to the kids that we're working with, and then we could also do bio stuff together. Because we're doing PC builds. Why not do some biohacking as well? Or sorry, bioengineering. Biohacking scares the crap out of people. Has anyone watched that biohacking series yet? We don't have it on. We only have it on Amazon. Not Amazon. We have it on Netflix in America here. So I have to use my VPN to get it. So I haven't actually watched it yet. But will I say it right now? No. Thank you so much, Ada. I'll just say Ada. It's easier. Thank you very, very much. And then wait a second. So you highlight your messages by paying ZPMs? How does this work? You don't want to shake the family tree. You'd be surprised how many nuts fall out. Yeah, no kidding. Ours definitely. Our nuts are firmly ensconced to the tree at this point. We're all pretty nuts. I'm probably I'm probably the sane one, but that doesn't really make much sense either. Have a good meal, Game Buster. Is Game Buster going off to eat? Game Buster have to dip out to get lunch. You go. What are you going to have? Gamer Trip says, ZBM, oh my god, I love you. Well, you can thank for that, I think, is we can, as always, thank our wonderful Jack Jasra, because Jack Jasra did all the stuff. Wait a sec, so what has he done? Used added permitted terms PMS. Really? So we're allowed to say PMS now. Were we not allowed to say PMS before? So are you allergic to citrus in real life? No, Ananas, I am not. Pineapple. I'm allergic to pineapple, sort of apples, some nuts. Basically, they took my hypochondria and they added it to bouquet to make me slightly more, make it easier for me to act, basically. But no, the lemon thing was something they wrote from the beginning. So, have you considered trying to build a custom ZPM computer chassis? That would be nice. I just worry about what would you do for airflow in something like that, though. I think maybe not. You know what I would do? I would suggest that maybe something like that. If you're going to do a ZPM, I think you'd want to do like a ZPM, like housing almost. So you'd almost want like a housing for the ZPM that could be. So the PC could be in the system around it, and then the ZPM could sort of sit in the middle, maybe as the what do they call it? Is the unicorn vomit. All of that, all the LED stuff. Oh, nice. Ham sign is VA3ZPM. I'll bet you don't say Z though, right? Just for fun, I checked out eBay for Stargate props. A lot of stuff up now, really? So someone who bought a lot of it's gone broke and needs to get stuff. Bee stings. Yeah, I'm not good with bees. Build it around the trash can Mac. Oh. James Gurney. You have to bring it up again, do you? The cylinder. Cylinder. You can do a tornado type of ventilation. Yeah. You need it to be pretty freaking... Like, I just can't... The ZPM is going to be... Like, I feel like it would almost be better to have it... Like, have the ZPM... You almost want to build it so that you've got the system and then the ZPM in the center somehow. I know, James. James Gurney loves his Mac. Whatever. Get Mac. What do you marry your Mac then? I love my Mac laptops. My Mac laptops have been bulletproof for the most part. Although, no, I say that. We had to send 3 of them back recently. No, recently I feel like it's fallen apart. I feel like there'd be a worm in the apple now. I'm gonna have to make the move to PC because I'm just sick of it. I feel like it's so hit and miss with these things, and there's no recourse. Like if there's ever, although that said, I have an MSI laptop which the keyboard failed within like a year, and I tweeted them and I texted their tech support. I never got anything back on them, so I'm not that thrilled with them either. Although I like the system. I mean, it's a great little laptop, but other than the fact that the keyboard sucks, maybe keyboards are tough. Maybe keyboards are hard because it's not Stargate, but my husband just built a new gaming computer and put a Funko Locust of Borg in. Oh, nice. Borg would be good. Wow. You could do a Borg cube. That would be amazing. Build a ZPM hub. Yeah, exactly. Like what is seen in Atlantis. And then you can install 3 ZPMs and you can find them in Pegasus. So basically there would be more ZPM than PC in there. Oh, wait a second. Imagine building, what if we built a, You know what would be fun? It would be like to take a bunch of old Sony PlayStation 3s, which use that, what do they call it? The cell chips that could be networked together. So you could network together like a bunch of PlayStation 3s into like a supercomputer and then have the 3 ZPMs in there. That would be kind of cool, actually. No, James, whoa, James, TS515. Are you messing with me? No, I'm building a PC. You kidding? I've been building PCs since the 8088. Actually, before that, because we had Sinclairs, we had, my God bless my father, although I don't believe in God. He's been using Commodore 64s to run he was using Commodore 64s to run his business and kludging stuff together with them since the very, very beginning. So imagine the ZPM like a rotary dial phone. Yeah, and it's basically that old at this point. It looks like the inside of a Borg cube. Oh, wait a second. So Cheryl Cohen, okay, that farty sound, just so everyone knows, it is the chair. It's not me. I'm just saying. Cal, shut up. First computer was a Commodore 64. Yeah, mine too. That's absolutely mine too. I would love to buy and set up a Commodore 64. I would like to get the old Commodore 64 monitor that I had. They actually made a monitor for it. I would like to have that and the keyboard. I'd like to have the old disk drive again. I would like the old dot matrix printer. I would love to put together a little shrine to Commodore 64 because I freaking love that. Wait a second. What if I set it up and I put a modem on it, and I ran a Commodore 64 bulletin board? Oh my God, because that's what I used to do. I used to love that. We have a ZX Sinclair Techniques. I've got one in England. It's in the attic in England. I freaking loved it. Oh, you had the Trash 80. So Wrangler had the Trash 80. I always wanted the Trash 80. I used to go to Radio Shack and play with it. Oh yeah, the Apple II. Here's what I would love. I would love a collection of old computers because the reality is I think they're going to be worth a freaking fortune because CRT screens, people just throw them out. They can't get rid of them. You can't give them away. There are dumps that won't take them. So they are going to be so freaking valuable at some point. My wife says that of all of my foibles, as she puts it, the trash picking is the one that she can't stand. But so, boy, that makes me want to go and look for a Commodore 64 on like eBay or something now. Like see if there's anything. Although eBay sucks here, I've got to say. In Canada, it's Kijiji all the way. Kijiji seems to have the most things, so I wonder if they've got a Commodore 64 for sale. Not that I have any money or should be spending. This is the whole thing, is James just sent me back to work because we have no money. And of course I'm like, well, I mean, it's TechBandits related stuff. I mean, Commodore 64. A working Commodore 64 with the monitor, with arcade games, floppy drives. Holy mother. Oh my God, I want it. Oh my God, it's got the Compute's Gazette disc. Oh, it's got the manuals. Oh my God, this is beautiful. It's got Load Runner. It's got Jumpman. It's got everything. It's got the tape drive. Oh my God. Okay, does it work? Is it working? Is it in working order? I would literally consider this. $1,000 though. Jane will kill me. Jane would murder me if I did this. Check this out. Is that it? What have I just sent? Probably the password to my bank. Here you go. Check this out. What do you think? What? There was an old boombox for $3,000. I'm having a crisis. I'm having a total crisis. Did you see? Look at that thing. Look at that link, people. It's got the monitor. That's the monitor I had. I had that monitor. And you'd need a monitor for it, basically, because it's gonna be the RBG, whatever it is, the whatever those ancient old video things were. It's got the manuals. I had that user's guide. I punched in and recorded, which is basically I recorded them because I was using a tape deck to record the programs. I mean, oh my God. Come on. Is it worth $1,000 though, you think? I mean, that just seems like a lot. It is Canadian. That's like $50 American. Do you think it's worth $1,000? I'd have to go and get it though. I can't, or do you think it sent it to me? David says Techniques. That sounded like, David, you've missed something. What have I missed? Yeah, the 3,000. Yeah. $3,000 boombox. I saw that. Jane will kill me. No, Jane will kill me. No, not donations, Cheryl. No. Sorry, this is not, that's not what I'm doing. Sorry. I feel guilty. I don't want to, like, this is not, yeah. I don't want this, yeah. $500 in Marketplace in Gatineau with one on Facebook Marketplace. The only problem is getting it. Like, how do you get it here, right? Like, how do you get the, like, I mean, I'm not going to go to Gatineau and pick it up. Facebook Market has one. Would they ship it, do you think? Wow. But come on, that is, I think 1,000 is too much, I think. Yeah, I think 1,000 is too much. There's a 500 one on Gatineau. Oh, there you go. So there's smaller ones, retro power supply. But you'd need to, I'd want to make sure that, oh, that comes with a box. Oh my God, it has the box. I don't know why that's important to me, but I just think that's great. And a big bin of bits. That's what I love. Wow. I don't know, there's just something about it running in the background. I used to do like, you know, I used to do music on my Commodore 64. Like I was so intrigued with the idea that you could potentially use it as a hey David, if I had a PS3 to donate to you, where would I send it? It's contingent on me figuring out if I can access the games I bought on it on my PS4, which I've been have trouble figuring out. But if I do, I'd be happy to donate it to your project. Oh, fantastic, Jaspin, that's great. The only issue is this, Jaspin, and it drives me freaking crazy. I live in Canada, little Canada, that likes to freaking duty and tax things at the border in a way that is extraordinarily stupid and greedy in my mind. So if you are sending me something like that, which I would very, very much appreciate, what I'll do is I'll put our I've got the office address, so you can care of basically we have a film and television company that Jane runs, and I'll get you to care of them. But just make sure you say it's worth like $15 or something. That's all. Otherwise, they charge you a crap ton of duty and stuff. But that would be real okay. So that I feel okay with. But people offering to spend $1,000 on a Commodore 64, that seems like a crazy waste of your money. But if you want to send an old PS3, I know the kids. Well, first off, the kids love taking PS3s apart. I have one. I'll show you. I just started organizing the other day. Let me grab it. It's very dark. All right, what do we got? What have I got? Where have I put you? Oh because I hate throwing anything away, not anything, but anything electronic away, and these are things that the kids were sort of pulling apart while I was while we were doing TechBandits. So I just like to keep things that look like fun. Like, so as a child, this would have been like, that's heaven. That's freaking heaven for me. I was like, it's got buttons and a screen. I want to make that work. So I like to keep things that I think might sort of inspire the kids to build and do stuff. So I just have, I just keep fun-looking things. You know, like, I was like, in this case, I was like, oh, you know what would be kind of fun? It'd be kind of fun to remove that, you know, 1,000, whatever it is. What is it? What is it? That 200 volt capacitor would be just kind of fun once you know, discharged it. Would just be kind of fun to have that, you know, to play with at some point, so that someone gets hurt, or doesn't get hurt. So little bits and pieces. So yeah, again, like laptops, there's still things I think that can be dug out of that the kids might have fun with, or I might have fun with. You know, there's even just little Wi-Fi cards and things could be kind of fun for them to mess around with. But somewhere in this mess, and the other thing I thought could be kind of fun to do would be to just take out the take out some of the CPUs, because I just think they're also just kind of beautiful. I mean, I just think, like, look at, I don't know, can you zoom? I'm not going to try zooming in, I'll screw everything up. But basically, some of these chips I think would just be kind of fun to remove from the, you know, from these hacked up old boards, and just, I don't know, like, put them up, or even just have them for the kids to look at, because the idea of being able to go like, okay, you know, what's a CPU? As a concept, you're like, it's the brains of the operation, but when you go like, there, that's the CPU. This isn't actually the CPU, I don't think. Is this the CPU? Where is it? Hard to tell with these ones. Yeah, I think that's the Intel in there. You know, just the idea that they can get their hands dirty and look at this stuff. It makes a big difference when you remember what something, you've got a physical connection to these things. So here you go. This is the baby I was talking about. And this, unfortunately, the kids have already ripped this to shreds, so I don't know that it's going to be of any use to us. In fact, for some reason, someone decided to, like, draw on it. I don't see if I can. All right, I'm going to do this. There we go. So that is the inside of a PS3, and so you've got these chips. Can I just zoom? Oh, this camera's so old. I tell you what, I have to invest in is some more camera tech too. So that's what I should really be investing in. And if you can get a bright reflection so you can actually see these chips a little better. But look at these. So anyway, so this is the Cell chip. This is the Sony Computer Cell BE Cell Broadband Engine. And the advantage of these things is, so they're RISC chips. I believe they're RISC chips. Are they RISC chips? But the idea is that these, you know, when they haven't been, you know, destroyed by my bandits, these systems can be networked together and turned into basically supercomputers. And I just thought, like, oh my God, could you imagine just like having it, I don't know if it would be Bitcoin mining or you know, maybe folding at home, doing something like that. Sorry, my monitor's over there, so I keep looking over there to make sure that I'm slightly in frame. And also, I gotta say, I don't know what the deal is. Maybe it's just how just growing up with this stuff. Like, this is just beautiful to me. I just think that is, I think one of the most gorgeous things in the world. One of the most sort of like exciting things is opening up some kind of electronics and finding this little world of like, what on earth? Who thought of all this stuff and how does it all connect? And I love it when I see the kids getting excited about it. Was like the best one was someone said it's like a I opened it up and there was like a secret passage that led me to a whole other world, they said. And I was like, yeah, that's how I feel. Like, that's how I feel when I play with this stuff. And because of course I'm such an immature little brat that I don't think I ever really got out of it. I still just absolutely love taking stuff apart to see how it works, and sometimes I get it back together again. But I almost feel like I used to think of that as a failure. As a kid, I'd always beat myself up because I was like, I take stuff apart, I can't put it back together again, and and you were never rewarded for that kind of behavior as a kid. You just broke things. I just got sort of told off for breaking things. I remember buying, was it not Simon? Merlin. So Merlin was this video game. Okay, let me see if I'll pull it up for you so you can see what I'm talking about. Merlin game. All right. So this was a 19, I don't even know game. Where is it? Is the Merlin, they called it a console? Really? That's a very nice way of putting it. I would not have called this a console. So here you go. There we go. Oops. What's that? Okay, there's that. Here we go. Oh, look at that. So there's a Commodore 64 in Montreal for 400, working complete with disk drive, monitor, original boxes. Ah, two-way functional. Well, wait a second. So that's in Montreal, but would they ship it, do you think? $400 is a great deal. And even if it's not working, part of the fun would be to get it to work again, right? Sorry to repeat this, but 125 in Toronto for C40 with a monitor on the marketplace. Really? Techniques? No. Don't apologize for repeating. I apologize that I just haven't kept up with the chat at all. You should check out 12 Volt Vids channel. Dave is amazing. Canadian electronics expert, has been doing repairs since the old days from VHS. Wow. He also likes to burn broken LCDs with plasma torch. Woo. Cool. Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Techniques. Okay, so 125. So it is overpriced. Then you're saying that 1,000 is just for like someone that's going to be one of those like impulse buys, right? Put old games on there. It's a remote play with. Have you checked out to see if it's not available on Sony's Game Pass thingy? What's that? What are you looking for? What you looking for? Oh, Sega Genesis and Shining Force. Oh, wow. Well, you know what I bought? I bought the Dreamcast because I was so taken with Tekken and the graphics. I couldn't get over the graphics of the Dreamforce. But of course, it was dead before I got it home. Basically, there was just nothing made for it. It was so frustrating. But that Dreamcast was stunning. What, Cal? What? Are you dissing my choice of Dreamcast? The Dreamcast was a dream. It was gorgeous. It was You have 3 Dreamcasts full-time job? Oh my God. They are. I mean, God, I thought that was the most beautiful system, but of course it wasn't what everyone went with. Was it Sega? I can't remember who did this. Was it Sega Dreamcast? I can't remember now. It was DOA. No, it was literally I got it home and it was like there's nothing made for this. It was the one game. Tekken was the one game, and Tekken was beautiful on it, I gotta say. It was Sega, yeah, okay. If you ever make it to St. Louis, I can get you a tour of the company I work for. Oh, what's that, Steve? Where do you work? Are you allowed to say that, or what's the? Thank you, David. I knew a little bit of Discord when I attended Dragon Con Goes Virtual and discovered they used it, and they have a gaming track, and have been using it before. Learned a lot more. Oh, really? Oh, cool. Okay. Just Set Radio on the Dreamcast. Jet Set Radio on the. Oh my God. Jet Set Radio. What was that? That rings a bell for some reason. The Shining series. What? There was a Shining series on what? I'm so confused. The chat. Never had a Dreamcast. I was stuck with the Genesis. The Genesis was great. Come on. I love the Genesis. Lion King. Oh, no. Okay, they lost me on that. Every console I've bought except that Merlin. Not going to count that as a console either. I know, his River Song, who calls that a console? So the Merlin I saved up for months and months and months. No, yeah. At least, yes. I saved up pocket money for months and months and months. And I did some filing for my dad, so we got a little bit of money that way. And I saved up, I bought the Merlin, and I took it apart the same night. And it was the coolest thing. Just the way, they had these I couldn't get over how they had these layers of plastic that were the buttons. Just how thin these connections were. And then the LEDs, it just, all of a sudden, it was like, oh. And then, of course, I felt ripped off because I was like, it cost that much for this? Anyways, but I had that apart. I kept that for ages. Unfortunately, when I moved from Canada the first time with my ex-wife, or for my ex-wife, I guess. I didn't want to leave. When I first left, I'm glad we did, to be honest. I would never have met Jane. So when we moved, we got rid of a lot of stuff. Because I'd had a house that I'd owned since I was 17. And I didn't throw anything out. So I had Dreamcasts. I had, what else did I have? I had Dreamcasts. I had all sorts of like Game Boys and all that sort of stuff. I had 150, 200 Doctor Who books, the old Target books, which I just loved, and I wish that's another one. That's another thing I want to, like, if I want to get all reminiscent, when I finally find our forever home, Could be this one, but I have a feeling we're getting a little antsy. Like, it's been 7 years we've been here. Like, we want to move again. We're like, the Hewletts aren't good. The Lohman Hewletts aren't good at staying in one place for long. So, anyways, we've been here for 7 years, and I'm already saying, like, let's go to the Midlands. Let's go move to Greenfields in the Midlands, you know, and have like a, you know, I'll do TechBandits virtually. It doesn't matter. Once I've got TechBandits up and running to a certain point, I can just do that from anywhere, right? And then the odd acting job now and again. Sorry, I tend to chat more with other chatterers than the actual streamer. No worries. My God, no, that's great. I love that. I'm still miffed the old game cartridges had EU and US versions, and I had two-stage conversion device to play US games on my EU Sega Nintendo. Really? I did not know that. I bought a Merlin after a week on LED. After a week, an LED stopped working, so an electrician took it to fix it. I never saw it again. Oh no. Oh, there's an online Merlin game? I found the game really boring, to be honest. That's why I took it apart. I was like, I was finished playing it in like no time at all. Wow. Oh, really? So your uncle, so Digital Sparky has a bunch of the old Doctor Who books. Yeah, my goal was to collect them all. I was going to get them all. I wanted to get every single Doctor Who book in print. But of course, it was easier back then. Now there's like, how many different Doctors since then? These were all... Basically, I wanted everything from Tom Baker back. That was my goal. Sega Nintendo, that's it. And Watcher, of course, has all your old Doctor Who books. But I bet your old Doctor Who books aren't as old as my Doctor Who books. Mine were true. I'm old. There are a lot more Doctor Who books now. Yeah, no kidding, huh? Which is, look, I mean, I should probably start reading more of them, actually, now I think about it. But, you know, I never have lost my Perry Roden books in a move. Yeah, so that's my move. I lost all of my Doctor Who books. Not lost them, but I gave them away, actually. I took them to a library and gave them. I'm sure they didn't even know what to do with them. They probably like, a bunch of paperbacks, throw them out. And it would have been worth a fortune now, judging by what it costs to actually get them. So anyway, so this is the bashed up PS3. And apparently you network these babies together and you can create some seriously powerful computing. Which makes sense. I mean, because, you know, these are like, I think you run Linux on it, actually. I think that's the plan. I have to look it up. But I just think that'd be a really fun project to play with. And that might be, you know, because of the size of what you're dealing with, that might be the one to make look like a ZPM containment unit, you know? The region locking stuff is frustrating, Ruby K. You're right. Hello, Ruby K, and thank you, by the way, Ruby K. Can't just thank Cal. Got to thank Ruby K, too, because Ruby K also wields the hammer as well. Maybe she's more of the voice of reason. Cal wields the hammer. Ruby K is the voice of reason. You can learn about computer clustering using a 4+ Raspberry Pis if you want to. Yeah, that would be fun. I have one of the Raspberry Pis now, but I'd like... Yeah, the clustering is neat. The reason why I like the idea of the old PS3s is just because I'm sort of obsessed with the idea that technology just gets thrown out. Like these, you know, you can find like old game consoles just in the garbage. Again, my wife loves me for that. ZPM to house a bunch of that's actually a good point though, Kits. Kits raises a good point because of the sort of the real estate of a ZPM. You could have multiple ZPM. You could have multiple Raspberry Pis in there, and then have some kind of an airflow system. No, you know what you do? Oh, what am I saying? What am I saying? You wouldn't do airflow, you'd do liquid cooling. It would even look cool because you could have it going through the ZPM to keep it cool. Ooh, that's neat. Cal keeps David in line. Well, she tries. She tries. What else we got here? I work and live in Linux, so if you ever need a hand with Linux, hit me up. Thank you very much, Digital Sparky. What are you doing with Linux? Is it like hobby stuff or is it work stuff? Cal, you're about as innocent as I don't even know what. You're as innocent as the devil himself, Cal. Wouldn't PS3s be too big for a ZPM? Well, yes, but I guess what I'm saying, James TS, is that you would build a ZPM containment system. So you'd have a box that had your ZPMs in it, and then there would be room between them for all the PS3s. I work and live in Linux too. Used it for 20 years this year. Wow, Fusebox, you're doing the Linux stuff, huh? Dr. Scorpion says you can get the Lego server farm for the Raspberry Pi clustering too. Lego server farm. Oh my God. Work, life. I'm on Linux laptop right now. Don't run Windows or Mac at all. So both for servers and desktop use. Wow. And do you find Digital Sparky, are you missing out on? I mean, surely. I mean, for me, I go like, what about Adobe? Like, what do I do with? Like, does Adobe Premiere and editing and all that kind of stuff? I mean, can you do that? I know, Cal. I want a retro game too. You know what you could do though? You could take a Raspberry Pi. We could do a Raspberry Pi and build ourselves a little Game Boy. That could be fun. Didn't Sony lock it down so you can't network the PS3s anymore? Oh, did they? Oh, that would suck. No, don't make Cal go play Black and White. Come on. Pokemon. I never liked Pokemon on those games. Sorry, I know that's sacrilege, but I just, yeah, they were never my games. I was a big fan of like 1942 or 1941 or 1943 or whatever that plane game was. And then they did like a sci-fi version as well. I loved Tron. Oh my god, I loved Tron. I loved I quite like Cobra as well. Was it Cobra? I think it was Cobra. Contra, that was the one. I used to love Contra as well. And then of course the Star Wars game. Remember that Star Wars one where we used to sit in it and it was all vectors. It was all like line vector stuff. Oh, it's so cool. Spy Hunter. Oh my god. I never really got into Spy. I was never good at Spy Hunter. I always wasted too many quarters on Spy Hunter. Oh, Black and White made you motion sickness. Really? I just get a headache with all that. I find the music irritating. I find everything irritating about that stuff. Baz plays those games and I'm just like, what, really? Here I am with my DS playing Pokemon, listening to David malign my game. Really? What? I'm maligning your game. It's not for me. That's all. Asteroids. Oh my god, I loved Asteroids. Nephew has an arcade cabinet with 30,000 plus games in it. Yeah, that's what I should get, Steve. That's a good point. Bought a little Nintendo box. Yeah, they have that. They have a bunch of those things, Cheryl. I've looked at them. There's a part of me that just, I don't know. There's something about having the original thing. I started, I did the first few courses, few lectures on a course. They're not really lectures. They're kind of hands-on stuff. This guy was teaching assembly language using the original Atari computer. So it's an emulator that runs. So it's an emulator that pretends to be this old Atari, and you can learn how to do assembly language. And the advantage of assembler on something like that is it's very basic. So it would drive. I mean, Barnacle was laughing at me because he said I'd never have the patience, and I'm sure he's right. But it's a kind of, I don't know why it's on my bucket list. Is basically I want to be able to draw. I want to be able to draw. It doesn't have to be on paper. It could be on a computer or whatever. But I want to be able to. I want to be able to have something in my head and be able to draw it or construct it in some way. Whether that is using 3D tools or a stylus or paper, pen, paper, whatever. I think that is a form of communication that is so important, and it's something that I wish my son did more of because kids have these amazing ideas. I let the kids play with my robots, and what do? They dress them up in clothes, or glue webcams to it. So the webcam was actually glued to her head, or its head. I don't know. I shouldn't say the gender. I'm not allowed to do that. So the webcam was glued to her head, and I dropped her this morning and it fell off. So which is probably a good thing because it was getting very frustrating. She keeps sort of unless she's actually on and active. You've got a webcam on there. She tends to sort of, like this. Why are you so warm? What's going on? That's weird. That's bizarre. Huh. Is something heating you up? Oh, I see. So my little ATM Mini Pro has vents on the side, and I guess the airflow from it is actually heating up the plastic on on this Easy Robot. So this is an Easy Robot. This is a Canadian company that I freaking love because it's a bit like sort of like Lego robotics, right? They have a little system at the back here. So this is basically the brains of the operation are back here. You've got this for the brains. It just clicks in. They're Wi-Fi enabled, so you can connect to them through your Wi-Fi network. You can have multiple robots on the same network. You can have them all doing the same thing, or you can have them doing separate things. you know, it's a little fiddly. My one complaint, I would say, is that it's kind of fiddly. I'd love them to have more of a sort of a snap and go system, and maybe an easier way to directly connect to them, if that makes sense. But these are, I mean, this is early days for these, and I love them. They got a nice little camera here. They've got the eyes. The eyes have a programmable LED display in them. Not, sorry, I shouldn't say that. Not a programmable LED display. It is a like a matrix of LEDs that you can program to do whatever you want. You know, all the servos have separate, you just address them separately so you can have them do whatever you want. And because of the system is all sort of like, let me see if I can show you this. This is the best way of doing this, sort of like that. So you can actually just, so they just click together. So they don't have to be humanoids. You can build them into whatever you want. So anyways, it's the kids have a lot of fun with it. And the 1 year, there was 1 year that I charged for TechBandits. What I did was I figured out how much it would cost to buy enough robots for each group of 3 to have one. So I basically divided that up between the parents, and I just said, like, look, we're gonna, you're gonna buy the robots this year, but the advantage of that is that then every year we'll get to play with them. And so we've had like, this is like the 4th year. It's weird not having the kids to actually play with them physically, because that's, I think, to me, one of the big advantages of this stuff is being able to play with the stuff physically. So, Stealthy Druid says, time's flies when you're having fun. You having fun? Stealthy Druid, thank you so much for the subscription. Very kind of you. Have I missed anybody else? What else we got here? Anyone else got things that... Yeah. So Digital Sparky's saying, I think you could set up a cluster of Raspberry Pis water-cooled should you wish, but it'd be so much fun. And even more importantly, use the GPIO to drive LED animations for power usage. Yeah, you could have a lot of fun with that. I mean, that's the beauty of these robotic systems too, is that you can have, there are mini ones as well, right? Here you go. So this is the same thing. This is the same robot. This is the same robot brain as what's in this sexy beast here. So basically, this is this, and you can plug in in this case I've got there you go. So I've got a little matrix of programmable LEDs in here, so that can be different colors. But you can also add a camera to that, and again, it's Wi-Fi. So what I was thinking about doing with this one actually was, originally it was being used to light the Stargate Squirrel Cam, which should be recharged now. So maybe it will come back to life if I press a button. So I was using that to do a little lighting effect on the Stargate. But what I would like to do actually is set up. I want to create the Gecko station. I've started working on it with an Arduino, but basically have an Arduino and sensors so we can check the humidity and the temperature, and have a little camera on the Gecko so that you can just log in and check the Gecko cam when you need to. I even wondered about just making it live, so when the kids wanted to log in and check it, they could, basically. And I just like the idea of having, like, the way is, like, how do you share this stuff? How do you make this stuff available to more kids? How do you get more brilliant minds excited about this stuff? I mean, it's and the idea of the streaming. As soon as I started streaming it, it was like, oh my god, this totally makes sense. This is the best way to do it. Lost Interest already has subscribed. So you haven't lost interest yet. Thank you, Lost Interest already. That's very kind of you. Thank you. This is amazing. I can't believe we've got 120 people today. It's like, that is Barnacles. So I should totally thank Barnacles first off. First and foremost, I should thank Barnacles for basically being my geek brother from another mother. DStat, sponsorship level Patreon, thank you so much. Thank you all of my Patreons for that matter. Thank you all the subscribers. Thank you all the people who put the PayPal stuff and the people who send me stuff. I cannot thank you enough. We've been through 6 months of pandemic, and for the first time in my life, there was never a possibility of getting a job, if that makes sense. Like, acting is like a lottery, right? So jobs just show up. You never know when, you never know where. It's part of the fun. I think it's the only reason why it's the only profession I seem capable of maintaining, because it completely works with my ADHD, basically. So it means that I'm never doing the same thing twice, and I love it for that. But the advantage is, who's taking off? Are you out of here? River Song is going. Have to disappear. Go find a walk-in clinic before I cough myself to death. Oh my God. Okay, River Song. Go look after yourself. Be safe. Yeah, definitely go get checked. Go get that checked, and then go home and look after yourself. All right. Just click this in bigger human. Yes, what could go wrong with robots that you could just click together? So, yeah, so basically, any of the subscriptions and the donations and the Patreon and all that kind of stuff, it all just goes towards the Tech Bandit stuff. Jane keeps lamenting that. She's like, you talk about there being money coming in for Tech Bandits now, but the reality is, it all goes on Tech Bandits. I was like, yeah, no, I know. Eventually, maybe one day it'll actually, pay for food for the child or something. But right now, it just stops this from costing me money, if that makes sense. All these bits and pieces and being able to pull apart things and getting, it's fun because I get to buy like 50 little toolkits that kids can use to pull things apart. And sometimes they come back, sometimes they go home with the kids, depending on what they need. Things get broken, but my rule is like if it's at Tech Bandits and it gets broken, I can't get angry about it because it's at Tech Bandits. And then Baz gets some pocket money out of the stream money. So although this is actually very cute. He said, if we do end up, if there ends up being more money coming in on a monthly basis, he's giving himself a cap. He doesn't think he should make more than a certain amount of money, which he thinks is enough to pay for his apartment in LA. I was like, dude, $1,000 is not going to pay you. It's not going to pay your rent in LA. But anyways, he says like eventually one day, he's going to cap it there because he feels that the rest of the money he doesn't want to be taking. He thinks anything else should be going towards the Tech Bandits. But the reality is right now we split it basically. So and there's no risk of him getting too much now. But anyways, the point being is it's wonderful. The kid can dream. I love that the kid dreams. I love it. I mean, I think it's funny. When he first started talking about gaming and being a streamer, I was very skeptical because I was like, what the hell? What are you going to do? He introduced me to this stuff, and I realized that there is actually there is a financial side to this that could work. And I thought back to my, when I was a little older than him, when my dad kicked me out because I came in and I said, I don't want to go to high school anymore and I want to be an actor. And I want to do that now. I don't want to wait. I want to start doing it professionally now. And he said, okay, great. Well, that means you're a grown up. And if you're a grown up, you don't live at home. So out you go. He was a little grumpier about it than that. There may have been some other words used. But he did the right thing because I think it forced me to actually do what I wanted to do. But at the same time, my mother was always very supportive of the acting. My father, I don't know. My father was very supportive of it, but as a hobby. He just couldn't see it as a career. Thank you, James TS. Thank you very much. I feel like, he was very supportive in his own way. He just couldn't understand it as a job, and I totally understand that. Because when my son says to me he wants to be a gaming streamer as his job, I go like, that's not a real job. And I caught myself doing it. And I went, you know what? This is crazy. If this is what he wants to do, I want to help him with it. So that's why we started doing the stream and stuff. So anyways. Gamer Chick saying, oh, wow, David, I had no idea. Yeah, I don't want to make my father sound like an ogre or anything. My father was, I think, much braver than I could ever be with this stuff. Because don't tell the kid this, but I can't kick the kid out. I can't say no to that kid at all. It's awful. I really thought I was going to be the discipline in this family, but the reality is it's my poor wife is the one who actually has to make the hard decisions because I just cave on everything. It's terrible. Partially because I think Jane hasn't so much married as she's just got 2 kids at this point. So my father, it wasn't a vindictive thing. My father was just concerned that if I was not going to go to school, that he felt that if you're too old to go to school, or you're old enough to decide not to go to school, you're old enough not to be living at home. And the fact that he did that, I will always appreciate that. I say to him now, I thank him now about this stuff. And then he claims that he didn't, but because he's decided that he didn't actually kick me out. But he did. I mean, he gave me an ultimatum. I had like a month to get out, and luckily I got a job right away because I'm a lucky, privileged bastard. Looking back, I realize how freaking lucky I am and continue to be, and all of the advantages that I had growing up because of my parents. Well, and because frankly, nowadays even more, I'm noticing it's because of the color of my skin as well. Hollywood wanted blue-eyed, blonde-haired kids and in their movies, and so I worked. And then, of course, my father then bullied me into buying a house at 18 because I had a ton of money, and he saw me just wasting it on motorcycles and things and cigarettes. And then he didn't step in, but he basically would show up at my house with a real estate agent, and we'd drive around looking at houses. And I'd be like, I don't want to buy a house. And he's like, well, no, we're gonna have a look at this place. What about this place? And anyways, eventually I ended up sort of being bullied into buying a house. Again, best thing he ever did for me, because even though I found it a huge burden, like I feel like my childhood strangely ended at 17 for me. Because I then had a house, and so I had all these obligations of all the obligations that went with a house. I had to make mortgage payments. I had to do maintenance. I learned how to look after a house. Hey, Elf, thank you very much, Elf SWE. Well, yeah, that's that. Trodorn has a good point, but it's like. The reality is it's amazing how lucky you can be when you're good at something. You need to have those skills. You need to get the luck, and then you need to be able to back it up with some hard work. And I was very lucky to do that. Gaming is not a job. Wow. Yes, that's Cal. Right. Gaming is not a job. You see? And I think that that's the point. McGillian has bluer eyes, apparently. They're just bigger in that big head of his. So that was my. I don't know why I'm getting all reminiscent about this stuff. I'm getting old, and my eyes will start getting teary eyed and telling you tales of being a kid. I really feel like for Baz, I don't understand this as a job for a kid going forward. I worry that it doesn't have enough. There's not enough work involved in it. I want him to find his place in it, but I also know that I might not be the person to tell him that, because no one listens. I never listen to my dad. He'll never listen to me, I'm sure. But gaming is not a job. It's a passion that pays you. It's funny because Baz was talking about it the other day, and I said, dude, I mean, you are currently a professional Twitch streamer, because he gets money for Twitch streaming, and and he's been playing with his games, and he's not been doing a lot of streaming lately. And I've said to him, I said, look, I'm totally fine with that, but you also have to be aware that any work you do now towards your Twitch following is going to be rewarded later on. You are getting a head start at a job like I did with acting. I managed to convince my parents to let me do a couple of auditions. I managed to get a couple of jobs when I was younger, both theater and television and some film. And as a result, I was ahead of the game when I was thrown out of the house to do it professionally, right? So gaming isn't a job. It's the entertainment side that brings the people, and the games give the streamer something to do. It's a good point, Warpig. I mean, I think I've said to Baz, look, I don't think you're cut out to be a professional gamer. And I didn't mean, and he took great offense, of course, because he takes offense to everything I say. Techniques, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yes, techniques, thank you. Thank you, yes. I said, look, I just don't think you're going to be a professional gamer, because I said, just because you don't have one game that you love that you focus on. There's not like he doesn't have a great love for any one specific game. He's very, very Hewlett in his ADHD and his squirrel mentality. So he bounces around to lots of different games. But what I noticed with him, and I think this isn't just a parent saying, I really am open to people correcting me on this stuff, because I know that one can be very, very sort of tinted glasses about one's kid. But I feel like he's good with people. I feel like he's good at making people feel included. I feel like he's good at communicating what he needs in a game. Sometimes there are problems, and definitely sometimes he gets a bit bossy, and I sense that there are times that perhaps it doesn't always work out as it should, and he can get a bit ragey and stuff at times, a little salty at times, I suppose. But I feel like for the most part, he has a pretty good sense of this stuff. And so I feel, and I said to him, maybe it's less professional gamer than it is like a game personality, if that makes sense. And he's like, yeah, Dad, a streamer. So I was like, okay, all right, got it. So that's the term. Lawyer work, it's kind of like acting, that or being a professional football player, because, yellow cards, techniques. Yeah, I gotta say, being a lawyer was never something that appealed to me until later on when I realized that basically just being a lawyer is like just being a lawyer scares people. Just by saying you're a lawyer has a certain effect on people. So James, Cal, 100% agree. Just because it is a hobby for someone doesn't mean it doesn't require the investment of time, etc. I do woodworking as a hobby to relax. People who do it professionally have to practice. A Hewlett with patience? No, I don't think there is a Hewlett with patience, is there? David can be a lawyer, though, just in a movie TV show. Exactly. Have I played a lawyer on TV? I'm trying to think if I have or not. I wonder if... I feel like maybe on Twice in a Lifetime I played something. I think it was like an angel lawyer or something. I don't remember. Esports is officially recognized as a sport in Ukraine. Yeah, esports is a real sport. I'm not saying that esports isn't real. I'm just saying that my son, and myself for that matter, I'm just not sure we have that kind of focus and dedication to a specific part of that. I mean, I think there are people who like sports. That doesn't mean that they're like Olympic level. But there are people, like, I don't think people who like sports go to the Olympics. It's people who focus specifically on one very focused niche. And I think that's the difference, if that makes sense. I have played a stock trader, yes. I have played basically I guess, certainly on the spectrum in some way, shape, or form. Yeah, he was Grant Jansky. Wonderful, wonderful role. Love doing that. Just imagine if Cal was your lawyer. Cal would be the best lawyer in the world, but she'd make a better assassin, I think. Your Honor, I object. My client is a fossil and therefore could not have committed a crime for which requires agility. Oh, Cal. Cal, you really know how to ruin a moment, don't you? Geez, Lady Shelley sounds like a movie scene from a disaster movie out there. What's going on? Lady Shelley, what's going on with Lady Shelley? Let's have a look. I'm looking up. Scrolling up to see what Lady Shelley's saying. What is Lady Shelley? That's way back somewhere. Lady Shelley says, Anonymous, be safe out there. We've had smoke and ash falling here. Cold front came through and it's snowing. God, so hopefully that will help with the fires here in Colorado. Oh my God, Lady Shelley. Look after yourself. Anonymous, look after yourself as well. Are you heading out as well? Sorry if I missed that. Boy, I suck at this chat. I just can't keep track of all the chat stuff there. All right. Yeah, how are we doing? So 12 to 1 o'clock. Okay, good. So Baz will be home fairly soon, which could be kind of nice. You can do Command F to find parts of the chat if I know what I'm looking for. But so Command F. So Command F. And what am I looking for? Oops. Where does it show up? So I would then look for Lady Shelley type thing. Oh, I see. Yeah, I guess you could do that. That's just, Twitbrick says, I think we've noticed. Maybe get him to play around with that Yahoo Fantasy Stocks thing. Ooh, what's that? That sounds neat. There was there used to be a thing called the Hollywood Stock Exchange, which I loved, where you could actually, you would invest in movie companies and movies, and they would basically track, they used it to determine how well or badly a movie was going to do. I used to love it. Wasn't David an FBI accountant in The Closer? I was definitely FBI of some sort in The Closer. I don't remember what it was now. We're having some serious smoke and mandatory evacuation orders are on the next street over. Yikes. I can see the wildfires in the house. Wow. Where are you based, Anonymous? Inonos? I can't see it. Like mock stock portfolio using real stock numbers. Yeah. Well, so Baz and I we bought $15 worth of Bitcoin. They're now worth 30. I was like, God damn it! Why didn't we invest more? And what did I play in Suits? Oh, that was a lawyer. Yeah, what did I say? Oh no, was I a lawyer? No, I think I hired the lawyer. I don't think I was a lawyer at that point. I don't think. Oh, GoPro's back up again. I don't think I'm going to be able to use the GoPro. Oh man, I was really hoping to just get a bunch of GoPros, plug them in, but this is not. It just keeps rebooting. What do people use for this stuff? Okay, come on. Who's streaming out there? What cameras should I be using for streaming that don't cost a fortune, that I can plug into HDMI? I need like, oh, wait a second. I guess I could buy some more of these old Sonys, but they're just, I don't know. Yeah, I need a couple of HDMI only cameras, the simplest possible thing. They don't even have to have mics on them. They just need to be a nice, I want to see you mocap perform for a video game. Cal. I could totally do that. You know how I could do that? Nathalis, thank you very much. Oh my God, and a gifted tier. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic. It's crazy to have a fire season, I know. I remember it in California. I remember I used to do the run up to the Hollywood sign, because I used to live in the Hollywood Hills just off Beechwood Canyon, or the Beechwood Cafe, and all those. It's a wonderful place. Anyways, I had this amazing house that we rented out there, just off Beechwood Canyon, and for the dog walk, I would walk up to the top of the Hollywood sign, and they tend to sort of show the Hollywood sign, and they tend to sort of like Photoshop out the helicopter landing pad and the radio towers and stuff up there, because it's pretty ugly. But there's like a complex at the top there, like a little mini, like it looks like something out of The Thing. And I would run up to the gates every day. And I remember a couple of times, or a couple of years, where you'd run up to the top and you would just see the smoke from the fires. And in some cases, you could actually see, the valley on fire. It's just nuts. You need to use a $700 camera with CamLink. Most of my streamer friends use Canon or Panasonic cameras, at least to get decent quality. Really, $700. God, that's just so. I mean, the beautiful thing about the GoPros is they're like $400 or something. You know what I mean? Security cameras do a max of 24 frames. Yeah. Why does it have to be HDMI? I mean, look, I would do CCTV if the quality is good enough. I mean, I think Barnacle was using the Wisey cameras or whatever they were, the Wise cameras or something. I wondered about just buying the little camera unit, like basically just buying like this part of. Like just buying the sensor part of the cameras to play with, or even the Pi. Like the Raspberry Pi now has like this apparently like a pretty good camera on it, but I just don't know if it would be a good webcam or how much you'd have to deal with. You start. It's a noisy robot. Wait a sec. The Xbox Kinect. Well, you can use the Xbox Kinect to do motion capture, but you can also use it as a webcam, I guess. I have one. I even have the box. I even have the converter for the old one. I've got the Xbox Kinect, and I've got the Xbox, the newer version of it, whatever that is. The newer version I think could be kind of fun because I think it can sense distance in a different way. But the original Kinect, that's interesting. I guess I could use that as a webcam. Although here's the thing, I'm trying to avoid the USB ones now because I've got this really cool little ATM Mini thing.
Stand up and stretch your legs. Okay. Why can't the butter knife ever get a date? He's a bit dull.
Thank you, Alexa. All right, I'm moving. I know what I'll do. I'll take a break and go grab coffee. Is that all right? Does everyone mind if I take off for a second? I'm going to grab some coffee. I'll be back in a second. In the meantime, I will set up. I guess I can't go to Squirrel Cam because that's not working. What do you not have? That's so true. I've got so much stuff here, but the reality is, I'm looking for HDMI inputs. So the problem with the USB ones is I have to run them through the computer. So in order to run them through the computer, I then have to do basically screen grab from the computer, which I can do. I can have multiple cameras. In fact, maybe I'm talking myself out of it as I speak. I mean, I could just do that. In fact, I do that with this. I think I can even just do it with this one right now. I think. Let's just see. Let's have a look. So I would just run QuickTime and have QuickTime record, or just basically be on sort of standby mode, and you could see through that camera. But I need to switch this. I've got a little switcher now, so I can switch back and forth between control panels and this. All right, so what's that looking at? The heck is that pointing at? Okay, so there's this. All right, let me do this. Let me set this up. Here we go. So if I go here, and then I switch to, I think it's 4. Let's see what happens if I do this. Is that going to do it? I don't know if that's actually worked or not now. Because, of course, I don't have the... Oh, is that the kid? The kid home? Is the kid home? Oh, so camera 4 doesn't... Is there nothing happening on camera 4? That's weird. Auto. No. Oh, well, that sucks. Okay, so the idea was supposed to be to grab... All right. Well, look, it sounds like this is a perfect time for me to go take a break. So I'm going to go take a break. Feel free to talk amongst yourselves. I shall just mute this so you don't hear me screaming at my son or whatever. And I will be back in a second. So, TW Brit's out of here. Okay, well, later. Thank you very much. Thanks for coming by, Twitbrit. or not Twit Brit, but Twi Brit. A pleasure. I'm going to go to coffee. I'll be back in a second. That is my doorbell sound. Yes. Because why have a normal doorbell sound? That's all I'm saying. Okay, here he goes. I'll see you guys in a sec. Pajamas. They're not pajamas. These are my sweatpants.
They are so pajamas.
They're not. Horrid. I'm glad we've gone to school. All right, here we go. I'm back. But unfortunately, look who's back too, with me. Dun, dun, dun. I mean, can I zoom back out again? How do I do that? No, not closer. God, you don't want to get closer to that. Jesus. All right, how are you doing? Oh, I get to sit in the chair this time because it's my stream this time.
Yeah. Sure.
So the kid's back. You've washed your hands and everything, right?
Mm-hmm. What?
It's a COVID kid. I don't want the COVID kids on me. So, first day, what do you think? What do you think?
Didn't like it.
No, let's
It
just
was
stay
really
home.
boring. I was with my friends though. We all were all on the same table.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You're on the same table.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have chairs? You sit on tables?
No. Wait.
Look, by the way,
Sit
oh damn it.
around
See, now
me.
he's here. I have to fess up. I stole the lap.
Thank you.
That's the last one. I haven't even tried that one.
I'll have the orange one.
Oh, sorry. I keep forgetting. That's not the screen. That's the screen that... Wait, no, there's the camera, right. So I'm looking at the wrong place. What do you think of the setup? So what I've got here is, watch this.
It's really messy, and why is there a robot doing the T-pose with a cape?
Well, you missed the beginning of the stream, so what do you know? But this, look at this. I can switch this so I can go, oh, there's another computer going. Voila.
That's just your screen.
I know, but the problem is I don't know why it's not going in here for some reason. Because I've split it through here. I don't know.
How about, what do these buttons do?
Don't press the buttons! Don't press any buttons. And look, my Stargate webcam's down. It's a disaster.
Yeah.
How are we doing? Let's have a look and see what people are doing here. Are we
How is everyone?
are we
I'm
happy?
surprised so many people want to see just my dad's.
What? No, they don't. They don't want to. They're here for you, but they couldn't find you, so
Obviously.
they got stuck with me instead. Well, so school. So you're not feeling too weird about school.
It's fine. It's gonna be a normal school year. Super tired.
You think it's going to be a normal one?
Yeah.
Yes, OBS will, Digital Sparky,
Press
but
all the
I have the ATM Mini Pro, and that I am determined to use it because it's freaking gorgeous. It allows you to have multiple. It has 4 HDMI inputs, and you can do fades, you can do things like this stuff on it. I mean, I know you can do all this on OBS, but because I don't trust my computer for the most part, I love the idea of having a board, that's just dedicated to the streaming. So I can set it up, I can forget it, I can leave this little mic plugged in through the road and just know that we've got... What? You're doing your hair. Is this just a mirror for you? Just a vanity mirror for you?
No, I'm now a yak.
This is a nice camera. This is a Sony NEX.
It's a really good camera.
What was that?
That was me hitting your box.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a dog falling unconscious onto the floor of the kitchen, because they do that. Yeah, I don't trust my computer. Like I don't trust this. We've had so many problems with this COVID kid. Oh no!
I'm so tired.
Just put stuff all over you.
So apparently there's a doctor that was fired from her job.
Yes.
She used hand sanitizer so much instead of washing her hands.
Yep.
Her alcohol level was too high.
What? That's crap.
That was what our
Fake
teacher
news.
said.
Fake
that was
news.
what our teacher said.
Your teacher said that.
Yeah.
You are going to a different
make
school.
Make sure not to use too much hand sanitizer, because hand sanitizer, if you use too much of it, it'll be able to go into your bloodstream, and then you'll get alcohol poisoning.
Okay. Really? Okay, come on. Can we please tear this apart for my son here? Kill the kid. Well, say it was an accident. That's true. Are you freaking kidding me? No, says James Gurney. I didn't think so. How are you going to absorb enough alcohol through this? Dude, is that what your teacher's seriously saying?
That's why we have to not use too much hand sanitizer.
That is absolute bullshit.
Also, they said that we have to stay half a meter apart, so we're all half a meter on the...
No, it's a meter apart. It's a meter apart with masks.
I'm able to touch, like if I put my arm out like this, that's where the other person is.
James, don't listen to this.
Oh, and the teacher doesn't wear a mask much.
What?
Mainly just the face shield, but she doesn't fully...
Well, the face shield's pretty good because it
on.
stops...
She has it like... It's because the face shields that they have aren't like working. So they have it around their head, right? But the end sticks up. So it like blocks up to like right here. Like it goes like that.
Oh, don't even tell me this. Oh my God. 80% ethanol in the lab for 15 years. I washed my hands in it like 20 times a day.
And
Yeah,
some
James,
people don't
this is
wear
the same thing for me.
masks
So the thing, so I believe that I am correct because I'm literally going from the CDC guidelines on this. You use hand sanitizer when your hands are clean. So basically, if you don't have actually schmutz on your hands, you use the hand sanitizer. That is your best bet. And you use it like soap. So you're putting it on your hands.
Mask,
Yeah, go for it. All right, you go for it. I just find it's covered in my hands now. So you use it like soap. You wash your hands. You go between the fingers. You get the thumbs. You do the little bit where you get the tips of your fingers. You do a full washing like that. Bingo. That's your best bet. If you've got stuff on your hands, you've actually got things that might actually sort of like pick up other things, that's when you use soap and water. So, but basically this is your best friend when you're doing this stuff, right? The fact that your teacher is telling you that, you are welcome.
And also, I was so freaked out because so one of the challenges that we have to do to go back to school was you wrote on a piece of paper, right?
Did you do and you don't touch your face too, it's the other thing.
No. You wash your hands.
You just touch your face. But
Hand
you just wash
sanitizer.
your hands. That's right. Good work. We can touch our face now. Touching our face because we've done our hand sanitizer. Yes.
Oh God, it got in my mouth now. So one of the first challenges that we had to do was we had to write questions on a piece of paper, crumple it up, and then throw it at someone. And then that person had to pick up a piece of paper nearby them, throw it at someone else. And you had to do that 3 times for every single piece of paper, and you had to throw it at someone else. And I'm like, I hand sanitized every single time.
Oh, good,
someone threw
good.
a paper at me,
Dude,
and I threw it
you rock.
Because it was so,
No, totally.
I had like 30 people throwing pieces of
Yes,
paper
that's
at
a
you.
freaking disaster. Especially people who wear their masks under their nose. That's the other thing that drives us crazy is people.
Yeah, they didn't wear a mask. So this one girl, her mom's anti-vax. So she doesn't believe in like vaccinations. They think that they might cause it.
Sorry, so if you don't, like, I don't believe in car accidents, so they can't get hit by a car?
True.
Okay,
But,
just checking.
well,
I don't believe in car accidents, I've decided. I don't believe in...
I
yeah.
don't believe in COVID, so I can't get it.
I don't
Like
believe in
that.
COVID either, no.
So they kind of
If you don't
are-
believe in it, it can't hurt you.
They're really easy on the COVID stuff.
Yeah.
So this person doesn't wear a mask when going to school. But when in school, like, wears it to make sure that it's around her, like, mouth.
So you have to wear one in school.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
rule. The rules are, right? Okay, all right.
And a lot of people are actually... The people at my table are trying to cover their eyes whenever someone's near them. So, like...
Oh, yeah, the eyes are... Well, do you want a face shield? You have a face shield, too.
Well, most people actually go like this to, like, cover up their eyes.
I'll print
with
you a
hand
face shield.
sanitizer.
I'll print you out a face shield.
But it's really cool. So, like, yeah, that's our... Yeah, and so they don't really wear a mask properly,
Mhm.
but she's on a table away. She's, like, that far away, like I said.
Just, like, in math, do you not, like, measure meters? Like, you know what a meter is, right? We should measure it out. What is a
Okay,
meter?
so basically, like, oh my god. So,
Do we have a- do we
for
have a-
example, this table right here,
Okay.
the other person, so it'll be like maybe four, or like, of these tables, right?
Okay.
So, like, 1 table, 2 table, 3 table,
Yeah.
and then 4 tables, right?
Okay.
So, like, this in a square of 4 of them, right?
Right.
Let's say I'm sitting here, right? The other,
measure. Does this have... There you go. This has got both. Okay, so
let's say I'm sitting here, right?
what is a meter?
So
have
if
I missed it?
So that's
I missed a meter? Where did the meter go? Oh, there it is. 100, right?
yeah.
There you go. So that is a meter.
So let's
So your arm is a meter long, is it? Your arm is not a meter
like
long.
this far away.
So you need to be an arm and a half
So,
away.
First of all, so what the table setups are?
Yeah,
So we were allowed to choose where we sat,
you were.
and I saw at one spot, one chair was right next to another chair,
Mhm.
but was just far away from another chair, which was far away to
Right.
my chair. So I thought that since me and Glenn are in a bubble, right?
Mhm. Glenn and I, yes.
Sorry, Glenn and I. Oh, I mean,
Chips, a bag of chips, yeah.
Bag of chips, and
Yeah.
we would sit next to each other, right?
Right.
Because we're in a bubble. It's okay. We can.
Yeah, you guys
do that.
hang out together.
And
till
then
anyways, yeah.
other person that isn't in TechBandits.
Yeah.
You know, right?
I don't
Person
know.
you go to car with.
Oh, got it. Yes, yeah, okay, all right.
They would sit right here. So that's like
Right.
that far away. About that far away.
Mm.
Yeah. So not that far away.
Mm.
Like probably right over there, right around there. So like this far away,
Mm.
and then when you're sitting here, the other person's around that far away, right?
How many people are in the class now?
There are 4 on 3 tables, so 12. 12 in
So
a row.
12. Okay, so 4 groups of 3.
Yeah, no. And
3
then
groups of 4.
And then there's one spot where there's 2 tables, when there's just like 2 individual tables,
Mm-hmm.
like 2 small tables.
Take that one.
Together.
Oh,
But they're with another person.
Yeah.
And someone else took them.
damn it. Damn them for doing that.
And then we're doing lockers tomorrow because they don't have enough lockers. They actually have to order lockers.
Mm.
So all lockers aren't coming in. So I had to put.
Oh, who's taking off? Wait a sec. Someone's leaving. Someone's leaving. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on?
Hi, James. Good.
Much I love to hang out. Oh, James. Yes, indeed. Got to get to the post office before I close and send off for my green card. Oh, fancy.
I do have to go now. I'm exhausted, and I also kind of have to go to the washroom.
Oh, the
So,
God. Yeah.
thank you, guys.
Please leave. Thank you. All right.
I'll be on.
Are you gonna do the chat?
I'll be watching.
You'll be working, doing your homework, I'm guessing, right?
We don't have homework.
Shut the front door. No homework? What kind of a school is this? I gotta say, this is the stuff that scares the crap out of me. Like, what do you do? Like, you got some kids who are being sent in who don't even believe in vaccinations, and this idea that this is like a meter. I mean, like, it's just like, I'm paying for this. He's literally going to a private school because I didn't feel like he could get the attention he needed at the public school he was at. I loved the public school he was at. I loved the teachers. I loved the people there. I loved the community around it. But there were 35 kids in his class, and because he's not the most obnoxious or the most brilliant or the most evil, he just got ignored, right? So I don't even know. I don't know. What do you do? Do I complain? I guess I have to say, like, look, what's going on? Either you're wearing masks or not. I don't understand why the teachers would be wearing masks or not wearing masks. I just don't understand this. Yeah, no kidding, it's a full-time job. No homework and a half day. Well, it's a half day for the first couple of days because they want to slowly transition the children into getting back into school. I'm like, shut the front door. Just send the kids back to school. Give them a shed load of homework and I don't know. Anyways, rule of thumb, I usually use when measuring a meter by eye with a cable or something similar, holding it in one hand and measuring it to my opposite shoulder. Oh, that's interesting. So let's see how that goes. So 1 meter. God, I have to think about this every time. So that's 1 meter. Let me see if I have that. So that's 1 meter. So basically from one shoulder, you're saying from one shoulder. This is very difficult. One shoulder. All right, so one shoulder to my wrist, basically. Okay. Is that right? Did that work? Oh, no, I pushed it in a bit. Okay, wait a second. Hang on. Oh, hold on. That's fake news. So from there to, yeah, okay, so that's a meter there. Okay, that's good to know. So if I can put an arm around the person, that's a meter. Okay. All right. But again, I don't know what to, I don't know. No one knows what to do, right? I mean, that's part of the problem. Look, part of this is selfish for me too, because I am worried that if we get home because one of our anti-vaxxers decided to go and lick patients at a hospital because to prove it to, for whatever kind of reason, because I hate them, and then he has to go in for a two week quarantine or 2 week isolation, then I have to go into 2 weeks of isolation, which means I'm not working, which means, depending on where we are in the film, I'm either recast or whatever. And frankly, how are you supposed to work like that? Is it supposed to be from your nose to the tip of your finger? Oh, that's good. Well, I bet you that's pretty good. That's probably pretty close. Nose to the tip of your finger. I like that. Okay, let's have a look. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, good. Okay, got it. My neighbor told me it's about a guitar apart, but I don't own a guitar. Yeah, that's true. Very difficult if you don't. Someone was saying it was a hockey stick originally in Canada, but I got news for you. We're getting closer and closer. I just feel like we're getting closer because people have just decided that that's, oops, 3 feet, 3 inches. Don't tell metric. Yeah, metric screws up a lot of people, I know. I have the dubious honor of being at school when they switched from imperial to metric. So I got to learn both. Yes, James T.S., it's very true. The advantage of private education is you pay for the ability to complain and be listened to. They should be accountable. They should be explaining everything to you, and they should be updating you regularly about how their planning is going. If not, go complain at them. Yeah, no, we definitely will. I mean, this year I said specifically he has to be in a class with his friend because it takes away, right away, it takes out a whole level of concern. We've already discussed it with his parents. We know that the kid is being responsible and his parents are being responsible because they're scientists. Who actually believe in COVID. So that's been, and that worked out well. We had a couple of friends that he sort of hangs out with here that are sort of in the circle, if that makes sense. But even then, in the circle, Baz still wears a mask, bless him, and they still try to socially distance. So, I think I'm glad that I think it's a good sign that he's aware and worrying about it. How's that? Anti-science people are going to complain that there are too many masks. Where do you go with that? I mean, I don't know how you speak to that kind of stupidity, or it's not even stupidity. It's selfishness. I just feel like you're not protecting you're not protecting yourself. You're protecting other people. Oh wow, look at that. It's funny. They on the last show I did, they said, "Do you want us to cover up your bald spots?" And I said, no. I want to I'm playing the guy's a loser. Let's go with it. I always think that the more character-y, the better. But boy, that's hilarious. I should start playing Friar Tuck. I've got the Friar Tuck hair now. Unfortunately, I've got about 3 to 5 months until I run out of money, and have to find work. Despite being on maxed out painkillers and being unable to sit down for more than 15 minutes. Jesus, Digital Sparky, I'm so sorry. What do you do? Is there something else you could be doing? I mean, I always say, can you start streaming? Because is there something else you could be doing that from a work front thing? Is there something you could be doing? We've had protests about masks. I know. I mean, you're protesting a mask? I don't understand. I've personally known a couple of people who've been hospitalized because of COVID. Yeah, I mean, this is it. I mean, yeah. I see that it's very difficult for people to get their heads around because, in the case of Ontario, we've got 100 and something cases, and you go 100 and something cases in how many 15 million people or whatever? What are the chances? And obviously the chances are more in Toronto. And they're also, but it only takes one, right? If everyone feels that way, if everyone feels like, it's not going to happen to me, that's how it spreads. That's the whole point of it. So that's, whatever. Okay, so, strong correlation between people's views on masks on the population density of the zip code they grew up in. Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Lenny Cool. Hey, how are you, Lenny Cool? Some people just get their backs up when told what to do. I know, some people, look, and believe me, I am the worst. I hate being told what to do. I have always had a problem with authority. It's one of the reasons why I hated school so much. I have my own business, which I can do basic things about, but concentration is also hard thanks to the painkillers. Yeah, I'm sure. Lower. You need to get the you need to get kitted up with that Neuralink. See if they can do that. Shooting pain and fire down my legs. Yikes. My life is very hard. Hopefully I can get more work via my business to make up for it. Yeah, so the business is the way to go then. But then you're kind of, are you running a business or are you working for yourself? That's the other thing. Is sometimes you just find yourself doing extra work because you're working for yourself. My father passed away over complications following COVID. So serious stuff. Oh, I'm sorry, Derek. That's awful. I'm very sorry. And this is not a time to lose someone too, because you don't get to say goodbye the way you'd want to either. Derek, I'm very sorry. SD Jelana says, my sister is an ER doctor and she tells me that she wishes she could let non-believers and non-maskers sit at the bedside of someone dying of COVID and see how long it takes them to change their tune. Yeah. I feel like it's people it's personal responsibility too. My brother-in-law is very healthy, but he's been having breathing issues since he got COVID back in March. It's awful. Oh, yikes. Yeah, and that's the other thing is it's not like some of these symptoms aren't going away too, which is amazing. Here in France, people like to be against the government. Like when we didn't have enough masks, everyone wanted one. Now it's obligatory. No one wants to wear one. Ah, the French. Ah, les Français. Ah, vive la France. God, I love the Parisians. They were so both welcomingly unwelcoming. They were. Digital Sparky, I've got casuals that work with me, but yeah, I prefer to work on than in the business, despite loving tech, so wanting to work in the business as well. Work in the business, sorry, what? No, I didn't quite get that. Don't know what the active cases are, but since May, Kansas has had 46,000 positive cases. Wow. I started noticing losing my hair around age 25, 26, began buzzing my head at 28, shaving it a year later, haven't looked back since, and I saved loads of money not need to barber and hardly any on shampoo. There you go, David. Look, honestly, I would do the same if I could, but the problem with acting is you just never know what kind of hair they're going to want, right? So it's better to have it than to, I suppose you could be bald and they could put something on you, but people don't generally have that kind of imagination, so I find it better to have a little hair. And I do have a little hair. All right, okay, so let's go. What was that? Give everyone virus vision goggles so they can see them floating in the air. Mask wearing guaranteed. Yeah, like them. Okay, let's change the subject. I don't want to belittle any of the stuff that's going on here, obviously, and I don't want people to not feel that they can't share. I don't, obviously feel free to share any stories that you want, but I also don't want to doom scroll. I don't want to be a part of the doom scroll because I think it's important that we don't sort of like wallow in the misery of all this stuff. And I'm sorry, I started this. I admit it. So bed bugs. Oh, great. That's a much better topic. Bed bugs. That's all I need. Remember when bed bugs was the problem and everyone was worried about coming back from conventions with bed bugs and things? All right. So sorry for all the people in the hard-hit countries. In comparison, Denmark is getting off pretty easily, although we have seen a spike here in the last couple of weeks. Not much compared to many other places. Subject change, David's bald spot. Exactly. Digital Sparky. Let's discuss this and what can be done about it. I think we shine it up. It would be a fantastic bounce. I get a good light bouncing off that. We get a nice overhead light. It'd be fantastic. Oh, it's a full-time job. Let's talk about your new 3D printer. What do you got? Oh, yeah. Bed bugs. Oh, horrific. The idea of anything living on me. No, don't talk about conventions. I want to wear my cosplay in public again. Yes. Give the bald spot a tiny, tiny hat of its own. That's true. Minoxidil. Does minoxidil actually work? David, stick your head in a 10-pin bowling buffer. No, you know what I do is that's where the Neuralink's going, right there. I got to save spot for that. It's a spot for that's not a bald spot. It's a Neuralink. Alexa, initiate self-destruct. Does that work?
I'll start the self-destruct sequence, but only on the understanding that you dramatically cancel it at the last second.
Okay, got it. I kind of like this. Alexa, cancel. I didn't even do a countdown. Why didn't I do a countdown? It's not a Neuralink. It's a Nerdalink. Now, is anyone else doing this Neuralink stuff? I've heard that they were saying that, oh, yes, Elon Musk is a fantastic salesman, but there are other people doing stuff that's just as exciting, if not more exciting than that. I've not seen this robotic surgery, brain surgery thing. Like I've seen robotic brain surgery, but I've not seen a system designed specifically for this kind of thing. So, well, he's always overhyping, isn't he, Cal? Studying biology, you will have several parasites in you right now. Yeah, no kidding, huh? There was an amazing TikTok that Baz showed me where they zoomed in on was it Baz who showed me that? They zoomed in on a strawberry and it got closer and closer and closer. And there on the strawberry was one parasite or a mite of some sort. And then you continue zooming in, and on that mite there was another mite, and it's just like, oh my god, it's like a what is it called? It's like a Men in Black thing. It's like a universe within a universe. I hate Neuralink. It's so close to Neuralink, a niche quack pseudoscience that my mom fell heavily into. Really? What is Well, no, let's not give him any credit. So Neuralink, no. Look, I mean, that's really just like saying it's the Xerox of photocopying, right? I mean, that's the hope. If you can upgrade my memory, I'm all for it. Well, this is the thing that sort of got my attention was, well, there's a couple things that got my attention on that. One was the idea of it being an interface for AI. A way for us to directly interface with the technology that we use all the time. Because the reality is, as God, what is the guy's name? Oh, come on. He's one of those. He's a big proponent for the. Oh my God, where are we going? Where am I going with this? I'm not going to remember his name. Am I? Never mind. But the idea that there's this idea that you are going to the technology is already too fast for us. That we need technology to handle our technology. So the idea that there would be some kind of an interface that would allow you to directly connect with the AIs that you're trying to use in your life is kind of exciting to me. Or even more so, the idea of it restoring abilities that have been lost due to age or age onset illnesses or any kind of debilitating disease or basically any kind of disabilities, anything you could do for that, or even like we're talking about chronic pain. What about treating chronic pain by basically just blocking that signal to the brain? I mean, it's just kind of fun. Musk is akin to that idiot Kavanaugh SGA, all talk, no substance. Well, I don't know, Digital Sparky. I don't entirely agree. I think I think he should give up social media because I just don't think he's doing himself any favors on that. But he should just stick to the press release type stuff. He's obviously excited about this stuff, and I think that he has introduced an awful lot of people to space, to technology, to renewable resources. Yes, there are problems with all of it, I'm sure, and I'm sure there's some shady dealings on all sorts of stuff. I don't understand why he hasn't been taken out by the Securities Commission, frankly, because I'm amazed at what he gets away with on that. Like sort of devaluing your own stock and buying it back and all this kind of stuff. It just seems to me like it's all, but maybe that's just the way it works for billionaires. But I definitely find inspiring the stuff that he's worked on, but it's not everything, admittedly. Basically people said you couldn't do what he's doing with the rocket stuff, and he is. And the Tesla was going to be a disaster. Everyone was like, "Oh my God, the Tesla's never going to work." But look at it. I mean, it's the only car my son talks about, really. We don't have one, by the way, because I said they're too expensive. Let's not slander the man here. Be nice. I mean, yeah. I mean, is he an a-hole? I don't know. I mean, he seems like many a nerd I know, if that makes sense. He's a con artist. Most of what he pushes is a scam, and he brings in billions of those scams. Wow. I mean, I don't know enough about it. All I'm saying is from a stepping back, purely nerd perspective. I don't know about how he runs the businesses or any of this kind of stuff. I just think that he's pushed some crazy advances in areas that I just don't think would have happened without him. I don't think the electric car market would have taken off the way it has if it wasn't for him. The big car manufacturers were dragging their heels on this stuff. They were not making vehicles that work, for that. I mean, there was the Prius, but electric cars were dull, were boring, were underpowered, whereas now, now they're sexy, they're cool. I think there's something to be said for that. But that said, I also, reusable rockets, big step forward. Yeah, that's a good point. I just don't want us in space right now. I mean, I shared that link earlier of what, visitors to provincial parks in Ontario. Now, those will be Ontarians and Canadians as well. But the trash left behind when we go and visit freaking pristine nature. We go out to nature to enjoy nature. And what do? We leave trash all over the place. It's freaking disgusting. My concern is we're going to do the same thing in space. So I feel like we got to sort our shiitakes out here first, and then we can go to space. That's my thing. Funny thing is, the stuff he says he's going to do, he does. Not just on timeline that he originally expected. Well, no. And that's it. I think, really, Nathalis says that the other half thinks that the Teslas are a death trap. No, you know what I think is a death trap? Is our vehicles are massive vehicles being run by humans. I trust the computers more than the humans. The humans make stupid mistakes or even homicidal mistakes, or they get angry, or they get tired, they get sick, or they're stoned, or they're drunk, or they're like... I put much more faith in the idea of a computer operating a car, and I welcome our computer overlords when it comes to that, because I feel like, I I think we've created vehicles that can do way too much damage now, that are, that can just be used incredibly recklessly and selfishly. And I think that the idea of an autonomous vehicle that can alleviate traffic issues as well as fuel consumption, safety. I mean, yes, it's not perfect, but it's I think eventually, if we push for it, is going to be a much better way of much better. We're going to have a much better planet, frankly, if we've got computers figuring out how to get us around, as opposed to us unreliable humans, frankly. Problem is all these computers self-drive, are also programmed by humans. They're not AI, which is why I hate the branding. Someone human is responsible for how they behave. Yeah, I mean, they're programmed. They're programmed, but I mean, certain aspects of them are learning as they go along. Are they not? I mean, that's, I get the sense that they're definitely, they are able to instantly learn from the mistakes of however many hundreds of thousands or millions or whatever of vehicles and information that's out there. Whereas, my son, when he learns to drive, will be entirely making decisions based on his own understanding of things, or his friends, or any of that kind of stuff. So that's why I worry about it. As long as the computer has an off switch, yeah, I guess so. But again, I just, the funny thing is, how do you? And this is something I should talk to Alan about, because Alan is Malanervo. I gotta get this right. I gotta get his name right, because I had the best chat with him. I never get his last name right. Is it Malentano? Mavalentano? Is that right? Did I get it right? Alan Malventano. Okay, so that's the last name I never get right. So Alan and I have chatted off and on for a number of years now, since PC Perspective days. But Alan has the original Tesla. I think it's the first Tesla that he's playing with himself, because basically they don't want to. I mean, they don't want to. I'm assuming they don't want to deal with it anymore. But that's fascinating to me. So Musk is basically the face of his own bootstrap. He's the only shark in his own Shark Tank. Yeah. Until the computer system is self-aware, it's not AI. At most, it would be something like virtual intelligence, like in Mass Effect. Yeah, I understand. I mean, AI is thrown around a lot now. It's a bit like the blockchain for a while. You used to add blockchain to everything in order to get funding for your company, and now you tack on AI, and everyone gets excited. So, hello, Fumbles McStupid. How are you? I feel like it's been forever. Most of our actions are caused by our lack of attention. AI won't have that problem. Exactly, Bertley. That's my feeling. A future generation benefited from the junk left behind, like in The Martian. How many for androids, like in Detroit, become human? I kind of want a good Boy Connor. I really enjoyed, what was it? Something human. Oh, that's it. Oh, that's the game, isn't it? Right. Sorry, I was thinking there was a series about that I quite liked. I think I love about Teslas is the over-the-air updates. The code running on the current cars is disgustingly behind and terrible. Oh, okay. Well, that's good. All right. Don't see how manual how's that. What we got? I has been forever. Going back to work sucks. Sorry, Fumbles Big Stupid. Are you back at work? Are you enjoying it? Obviously not. When a car crashes, should it choose killing you and sending people in the sidewalk the other way? So Spitterberger, that's a really fascinating thing, and that's one of the things that a lot of the AI folks, whether it's AI or virtual intelligence, are dealing with. And the idea is, who's going to buy a car that would choose the betterment of humanity over the betterment of the person who bought the car, right? So no one wants to buy a car that will say, like, okay, if I have a choice of like veering off the road and killing you, or veering off the road and killing a school bus worth of kids, I am going to choose you every time. Who wants to buy that car? So there are going to have to be rules in place that say all cars have to have, basically the same kind of understanding. And then you're going to get into, okay, maybe there's people who can hack those cars so that they, how do you, if you pay enough, you get a car that will automatically be chosen, later down the list of possible deaths, as consequences in a crash, that kind of stuff. I mean, there's a lot of stuff. Have you researched car hacking? They've legit got exploits decades old due to terrible code that's never been updated. It basically maintained for the vehicle's ECUs. People have hacked cars and taken control of them already. Yeah, no, I know. Digital Sparky. I've seen it. But those aren't even autonomous vehicles. Those are just like being able to take control of like braking system and almost human. That was it. Yeah. Just because the car crash more attention doesn't mean the driver is giving it. I've seen people text drive in a manual all the time. No, I agree. My car has all those safety features, but in Canada, no Wi-Fi modem in the infotainment unit. Really? Was that like a rule in Canada of some sort? Someone run Linux on a Tesla and got free internet access. There's nothing free about running Linux on a Tesla, my friend. I guarantee you paid for it. That's the problem I have with the Neuralink. Good grief, though. I don't have to go on this year. I don't want a car that has McAfee on it or Norton. Bradbury's robot rules. There you go. Yeah, it was aired out of fashion. So, was it J.H. Wyman? I knew him as Joel back in the day when he was an actor. I gotta say, one of the more brilliant writers that I've had the pleasure of reading. His writing for television is absolutely stunning. And I don't know what he's working on right now, but he was doing Lost, I believe. He worked with Bad Robot for a while with J.J. Abrams. And he's written a couple of pilots. I remember he's written a couple of shows, basically. But one of which I read, God, what was it called? There are a couple of things. I read they did a disastrous version of a very, very smart script that he wrote. And then, yeah, I really enjoy his writing. I think he's just a really talented writer, that guy. Okay, what about the trolley problem? Yeah, well, that's it. I mean, that's Devtron. That's exactly the problem. Is how do we figure out how do you figure out what this intelligence in your car is supposed to do when it comes to a crash? And these are things that we just haven't worked out yet, right? Does it? Does Lost hold up? I was one of those things. I was in a bad mood when I watched the pilot, then I never watched the show because I was just in a bad mood. No, was it Lost? No, it wasn't Lost he worked on. It was, I'm sorry, it was Fringe. Fringe was the show he was working on. Was a writer for, I believe. Maybe even a producer on. Dragon Con's rolled everyone to 2021 and still gave us a virtual con this weekend. 24 hours from 6 p.m. until Monday, 4 p.m. I got no sleep. Just like a live con. Oh, very good, watchers. I'm glad that worked out. Top Gear had a solution to that. The car basically self-destructed purposely. It was a car designed for seniors. Fringe is a great show as well, but it's a bit of a slow burn. Very good. Okay, good to know. Trick question. Get all of them by straddling the two rails. The only way to ever have a vehicle that can't be hacked is for it purely to be air-gapped. Jane's got a meeting. To be air-gapped and run everything in-house in terms of remote access anyways. I've been good, King MC Plays. How have you been? You been streaming? I never watched either Lost nor Fringe. Yeah, me neither, I'm afraid. Baz and our friends tried to get me back into Pokemon Go the other day. And I started playing and I started enjoying it again. And then I went, this is ridiculous. I stopped doing this because I found myself out for dog walks, not listening to podcasts and learning things, but playing Pokemon Go. So I've stopped. I've banned myself from it again. I'm going back. I want to learn stuff in my free time, not play stupid games. Soma, my friends. It's like Brave New World. I mean, this is the funny thing, though. If you want to kill someone, do you really want to hack a car to do it? Wouldn't it be easier just to mow them down in a car? I mean, like, I feel like, talk about the, what is it? Occam's razor. What's the easiest solution? I feel like when it comes to a crime, wouldn't it be easier just to like steal a car and murder someone with it than it was to hack a car and get? And plus you've got all of there'd be a whole paper trail for that. Well, a virtual paper trail for the hacking stuff. I just feel like, yeah, exactly, Bertley. What kind of chat is this? But the idea being that like all the trouble of going to the point of hacking a car in order to murder someone, it just seems overly complicated. There's much simpler ways to do it, obviously. And I feel like, if you're willing to go to school and learn, if you're willing to spend that much time on the internet to figure out how to hack a car in order to murder someone, I feel like you'd probably, if you're smart enough to figure that out, you think you'd be smart enough to figure out a simpler way of doing it. But, yeah, MC Plays, you back at school? Or are you doing the, Darth Tigger, thank you very much. And welcome again, Darth Tigger. We've seen you around before. Thank you for subscribing. No hack at all, just choose a task and takes the most time. I'm sure they'll write a film about it. I'm sure they already have. Remember? Well, it wasn't the beginning of what was it, Upgrade or whatever that show is on. I can't say I'm a huge fan of it, but it was this Upgrade show where you die and you go to a virtual place, which I thought was kind of cool concept. But I just found it just got a bit silly for me. But he died in an autonomous vehicle because someone had hacked the autonomous vehicle, right? Imagine if they could hack a bus. Oh, yeah. And it could only drive 60. If it goes any less than 60, it blows up. What I really love is getting security advisories from the Australian Signals Directorate, think tech guys for the Australian Defence Force. Some seriously interesting things come through. Oh, really? That's neat. Season of Doctor Who had a car being hacked by an alien. There you go. Any chance of, it sort of brings us back to Elon Musk, isn't it? It's like Alien Musk. Any chance of a season 6 Atlantis or a movie? Ugh, I wish, Sweatgate. I wish. Upload is the show. Yes, do you like it? Chrono Mill, did you like Upload? It sort of was. It just seemed kind of silly to me somehow. I feel like I'd seen it before somehow. Yeah, it's inconsistent. Upload. I found. So Chrono Mill loved it. Okay, well there you go. I mean, this is the funny thing is I have odd taste in this stuff. A new Stargate something was just announced on Reddit by Joseph Malazzi. I can't spell. Was it? I got to be honest. I'm afraid I'm rather skeptical about these things now because I hear these things all the time, and I don't imagine that they're going to just abandon the franchise entirely. Look what I've done with my hair. That is marvelous. Look at that. That's genius. It's like alfalfa level kind of. Yeah. Yeah. Find the link. Let's see what's going on. Oh, John Pertwee's Betsy. That was fantastic. That wouldn't have got hacked. It's so true. Joe's always saying we're working on something. He's such a tease. Yeah, I mean, well, Joe is always working on something, to be honest. Malazzi's always got something up his sleeve. Always working on something. Have you seen so many techie shows? Oh, Eureka was fantastic. What was that guy's name? I loved that guy. That actor. Eureka. The show. Oh no, of course. I can't just look up Eureka, can I? Someone will remember his name. I'm just terrible at names. Colin Ferguson. Colin Ferguson is freaking fantastic. I love him. I said Brad Wright was working on something. Well, Brad Wright, again, he's always working on something. I would like SG Universe to continue, but Atlantis on Earth would be great too. Yeah, I mean, I would very much. I mean, you know me. I'd love to be doing McKay again. I'd be happy to do that. McKay would be wearing a mask. You know it, and gloves and a hazmat suit. But I've heard so many. We were told unequivocally that we were going to make a movie when the series ended. So that never happened. So I'm rather skeptical of all of it. No, I mean, story-wise, Polynomial, like, there's plenty of places to go with all of this stuff, right? I mean, you could totally do another series. I know everyone's bored of this, but I'm going to say it again. Stargate Academy, McKay is the headmaster. You bring in all of your sexy young actors that all the networks love, the under the 20 to whatever the demographic is they're going for. And then you bring in all the old Stargate alumni, and they're working with the kids, and then McKay screws everything up. A movie where Atlantis saves Destiny, that would be good too. Again, ideas is not the problem. The problem is all the legal bullshit around making, about ownership and copyrights and all the crap that goes with making television and film these days. I am out. I'm happy to act when I'm supposed to act, but this industry, when it comes to trying to come up with new content and new shows and new films and all that kind of stuff, I despair at the amount of politics involved in it. I cannot deal with it. I do not work well with others. I admit it. There you go. I said it. I don't work well with others. That's why I play McKay. So I'm going to stick to the acting, and I'm going to try to figure out how to make stuff that I enjoy doing here, doing this kind of stuff. Because frankly, I'm loving the live stuff. I would love to come up with some kind of it would be fun to have things you can actually, some kind of a streaming show of some sort. But the more people who get involved, the harder it is to get anything made. And I feel like everything is just put through so many people that by the time you get it, it's this weird kind of generic version of what it's going to be, and whatever. You say whether you had the next Stargate Atlantis. I have not decided on that yet because I don't know. My schedule is so up in the air because obviously trying to shoot a television series and a film during a COVID pandemic is proving somewhat difficult for scheduling. So they're struggling with that. I'd love to see McKay and Rush on the same team. Rush would kick McKay's ass in a second. Yeah, Amanda Tapping is doing well, I'll tell you why Amanda is kicking butt in the director-producer role thing, because she's freaking brilliant. She's so good at directing. She's so good with people. She's so lovely in general. Everyone loves her and wants her to come back all the time. She did her homework. She did the work. While she was an actor, she was working on the directing. She's done an amazing job, and I can't wait. She's like, you want a great example of why women should be directing. Amanda Tapping is it. Like millions of hours on set working. I'm amazed they didn't have her directing every other episode of Stargate, to be honest. McKay. Yeah, Rush might have an accident around McKay. McKay may end up. You may never see McKay again if Rush and McKay got together. So how much during the pandemic do you wish you had one of those hazmat props? Techniques, I looked at them. I literally went and looked up hazmat suits because I thought, you know what? Why not? And they're too expensive right now anyways. I guess you could make one. I mean, I guess the Tested made one, didn't they? Those fabulous folks over there. I wish your character came back on Sanctuary. Yeah, what was funny about Sanctuary was like they originally. I did their web series when they were going to split it up into little 15-minute chunks and sort of sell it online. I was back in the old days of the internet. So I did it for them then, and I played like a psycho killer. They changed it for the TV series. And sort of recast it because I think they wanted me to do the series. And originally they talked to me about being the weapons expert, like not the weapons expert, but like being the tech expert on that show. And I sort of had to say, like, I can't. I have an exclusive deal with Stargate at the time. I couldn't do another TV series. So, which I was surprised it was even an option. And maybe they wouldn't have, maybe, I don't think Sci-Fi would have cared, but I think MGM might have. So yeah, it's, I originally was supposed to do something in there, but I couldn't make it work. And then there were some other parts that came up later on. And again, I did an awful lot of sort of like trying to blackmail people into letting me direct because I was determined to do some TV directing. And so I would say, I will only do the acting if I can direct. And of course, everyone said no. Probably quite wisely, so I didn't do the acting either. But I've since changed my tune somewhat, and now I do the acting if I feel like doing the acting instead of trying to force people to get me to do directing. But I really thought that directing was what I wanted to do, and that was my way of sort of moving out of the acting and into the behind the scenes stuff. But the reality is, I don't have those skills. I think I have the directing skills. I think like with Dog's Breakfast, when everything was up to me and Jane, no problems. That is not a problem. That was great because we could just do exactly what we wanted to do because it was my money, and if there were any mistakes made, it was my money being wasted and nobody else's. So what I need to do is get very, very rich and just start making my own stuff. And then I think I'd be happy because then you have total control. What I'm not good at is this kind of almost sort of democracy that begins to occur in filmmaking where everyone has their own agendas going, and you've got unions to deal with, and you've got personalities, the clashing personalities, and all sorts of politics stuff, and that drove me crazy. I mean, that debug almost killed me. I was miserable making that. I just wanted that over. By the time we'd finished shooting, I just wanted it done, over and done with. And it was very sad because it was a fun project that I think I would have had a lot more fun with had my original goal for that movie was to make it for like nothing. Was to do it like I wanted to do like we did with Dog's Breakfast. I wanted to do a science fiction movie. But once again, if you have a good idea, people want to throw money at it. And you go, well, I'd be an idiot not to take that money and turn it into a bigger movie. And then, of course, we did that, and I think partnered with the wrong people, So I really feel like if I was going to do directing again now, I would want to do it on my own stuff again. I like the tiny budget stuff. This is why this appeals to me. It's like, let's talk about something. Let's go. Boom, bang, done. Write or direct for the gaming industry. Now, that would be very cool. That would be interesting, actually. Look, I love the idea of doing visual effects as well, like working on that side of stuff because that's fun. Sorry, Digital Sparky, if I missed something. So, do you still do work on robots? Darn right, I've got the. What are you talking about? Oh, well, I guess you missed the beginning. I still got these guys right here. Oh my God, I mean, robots. I try to sneak some kind of a robot story into every single Tech Bandits we do. Is it 2:00? Holy crap! Really? Oh my God, if I ever talk. I better go and get on with my day. Oh my God, almost 3 hours. We'll do 3 hours. Let's do 3 hours and then I'll wrap it up. Okay, so sorry for the resend. Oh yeah, by the way, Iron Ham, I love Dog's Breakfast. Oh, thank you. To be honest, I have followed your career for most of my adult life and absolutely love your work. Just thought I'd say that. Digital Sparky, thank you so much. I'm glad that my work could be an inspiration to you, as it should be to you all. No, thank you, Digital Sparky. That's great. Thank you. Dogs, I appreciate it. Dog's Breakfast was an absolute joy. While it was misery at times to shoot and to make, it was a joy because it was every mistake. I could own every mistake in that. I am willing to speak to every mistake in that movie. There are things I'm quite happy to go like, yep, I fucked that up. Or that was a stupid decision or whatever. What I found frustrating later on when I got into working on other people's films or working on films that were then owned by other people or produced by other people other than my brilliant wife, was that I couldn't own those mistakes. I could see mistakes coming and I could scream and yell and shout about the fact that these mistakes were being made. And if you don't have the power to change it, you just get to watch them happen and then deal with the consequences. And that drove me freaking nuts. So that I can't deal with. So, oh wow, Nathalis, thank you very much. One of among your top favorite films. Well, very good. Brushed your teeth after using it on Mars? Yeah. And we got to see your butt? Yeah. Sorry about that, folks. Star Trek 5, there you go. You sound just like me, says Kits. So yeah, is James back again? You have to go again. What? Oh, first online lecture for Medical Micro. I tried to add you on Steam. What was that? Oh, I see. Any thoughts on being more horror films? I love Cube. Oh, I love horror films. Well, the film I'm doing now with Guillermo del Toro is pretty freaking dark. Is it a horror movie? It is kind of a horror in that it's certainly a tragedy. I mean, the film is. I'm not going to say any more about it, but Nightmare Alley. I think that's going to be about as horror as I get right now. It's a pretty great film. It's funny. I used to love horror films, like from writing horror films. I wrote a whole bunch of different sort of takes on that stuff. I don't like them anymore. I don't like the idea of writing them anymore because I love watching them. I really enjoy watching horror films, good, bad, ugly. I love them all. I sort of love B movies. I love little movies that shouldn't work and that do, or films that should work and don't. But I don't really want to. I found writing horror. I found it sort of dragged me down. I remember I worked on one about an old mental facility that had been shut down and a bunch of kids breaking into it and just how it just sort of destroys this group of kids. I just found it was depressing. Just writing it was depressing, So Derek Graham says, sorry, I was away from the stream. You're one of my favorite characters on TV. Always loved how much Rodney's character evolved over time in SG-1 and Atlantis. My mom says, thank you for your condolences. How would Rodney feel about a toothpaste with citrus and no fluoride in it? Terrible, I imagine. Derek Graham, give my love to your mom. I'm again very sorry for her and your I don't want to say sorry for your loss. That sounds horrible. You haven't lost anything. Yeah. I'm very sorry about your dad. Is the point. I never know what the right thing to say is. I hate saying someone's past because it belittles the whole thing. I think the best quote I heard was from a band called The Lowest of the Low, and they said, "Let us drink, but not to forget, but to remember instead all the happy years." And I think that's the best thing you could do is celebrate a life rather than mourn its passing. But of course that's easy for me to say because I'm not the one missing my dad. So Derek, my love to you, bud, and to your mom. I'm always surprised not to see him smoking after those burns. I missed it. I don't even bother looking at what Cal says anymore, unless it's something, Seeing on the screen is definitely a tragedy. Oh my God, Cal, that is not Cal's best work, I have to say. I killed his soul a long time ago. He has nothing left on the inside. It's true. I'm a husk of a man, thanks to Cal's constant abuse. What do we got? Just saw the first bit of one where they're wearing red, green, 3D glasses. LOL. What was this? Traders was the first thing you saw me in. Oh, wow. There you go. Well, I go back longer than that, my friend. Digital Spark, you have a friend in Canada. Why are Canadians so damn amazing? Love most of you. I don't know. I mean, Canadians, I think Canadians are sort of partially American, partially British, partially Australian. I feel like we're a nice mix, if that makes sense. French, there's even some French in there. So yeah, I think we're a good mix. We're a pretty good mix, I'd say. I know it always scares me when Cal is nice. Has Cal said something? No, Cal's not said something nice, right? We invented poutine. That'll basically do it. We've also got back bacon, like the P-meal bacon thing. That's us too, I think. I heard that we invented basketball, but I'm not entirely. That might be fake news. I don't know. Can we share a wee little link? What do you got, Nathalis? What are you trying to share, Nathalis? What is poutine? Polynomial. My God. It is the world's greatest invention. One day I'll eat poutine for you here on the stream. It is fries with a gravy that is being poured over cheese curds, so they sort of melt into the fries. So they're a cheesy, gravy, fried, heart-stoppingly delicious treat. But people go even further. People will do like poutine with chili. They'll do poutine, they'll do poutine waffles. It's truly disgusting what they can do. But true poutine is basically horrible greasy fries with a very fake gravy and odd tasting cheese curds on them. I absolutely freaking love it. It's delicious. Thanks. I did get to see him before he got worse. He had a stroke, which was the beginning of the fall, but the COVID was before. My dad died at home. Oh, well, that's good. I mean, sorry, not good that he died, but he died at home. That's nice. So my wife and I were able to keep some recordings from his voicemails to me. So if I need to, I can listen to him. Oh, but 41-year-old American watching is cool. Although if I wasn't disabled, I'd love to move permanently to Canada. Oh, really? Oh, wow. Canada definitely has pretty good. I mean, we look after our peeps pretty well, I gotta say. I hope a 41-year-old American watching is cool. No, you're in. You're fine. It's like we got everybody here. Okay, so you've been granted a link. What have you got? What do we got? Montreal smoked meat. Oh my God, Montreal smoked meat poutine. So they take poutine. Okay, so you take the poutine. You got the fries. You've got the gravy. You've got the cheese curds. Then you put the smoked meat on as well. Oh my God. Ooh. Montreal smoked meat, delicious. Delicious. Can't really get it here. They don't have the same thing here. Shiny time station, Ted typo. Oh my God, with Rachel's little sister, I know. They misspelled my name in the credits, did they really? Oh my God, the number of times that happened is amazing. That's probably why it's not on my, is it on my IMDb? I don't think it is. Or maybe it is, because I think I actually had to add the misspelling of my name to IMDb because there were so many things that they'd done it wrong on. Worst part about talking to Canadians is that it's 12 hours between Canada here and Perth. So it's just after 2 a.m. Digital Sparky, my God, get some sleep. That sounds disgusting. Polynomial, then you are not welcome here. If you think French fries with gravy and cheese are disgusting, then I don't think you're going to fit in here, Polynomial. I'm kidding, of course. We like all sorts here. Don't diss it until you've had it. It's food of the gods. I'll tell you one of my favorite ones, which I'm almost tempted to go and get some now. There was a local place here. We live sort of in the Greek town part of Toronto here. And there was a restaurant here that did something called the Spartan fries. And they were French fries with feta cheese and then gyro all mixed up together. And oh my God, it was the most delicious thing you've ever tasted. But you can't move for like a day after. So you eat them and then you just have to lie on a sofa, basically. French fries only need chicken salt. It's the best thing. Chicken salt, really? Australians' greatest secret food is chicken salt. Interesting. Okay, I have to try that. I've been to Canada once, and poutine was incredible. Wait, so you've been to Canada, but where in Canada? Canada is a big frickin' country. You can't say you've been in Canada. Where in Canada? +1 chicken salt. All right, I'll get chicken salt for the win. Really? Okay. Yo, Canadians, good source of gluten-free poutine. That's a good question. Well, Montreal is the true. It's not even Montreal. It's like the outskirts of Montreal is the true origin of poutine, but there's some great poutine in Montreal. There, to be fair, there's some pretty great poutine here in Toronto. I quite like Burger Priest for their poutine as well, for that matter. Their chili fry poutine. Oh man. Maybe I'll take Baz as a treat. We'll go and get some crazy poutine or something for that. Is it admin abuse if I ban that word combination? What word combination? Gluten-free? Okay, wait a second. Gluten-free poutine uses cornstarch in the gravy. Ah, good, okay. I like the idea of no gluten because that maybe that's what like just kicks the crap out of you. There used to be an actual poutine restaurant in northern Finland owned by a Canadian fellow. Oh, cool. Squeaky. Sounds like it. Oh, it's called Squeaky because it's kind of squeaky. It is. It's like a squeaky cheese. Totally. Absolutely. Yeah, the cheese curds are kind of squeaky for that. Okay, so in Australia, chicken salt is the default when buying chips from fish and chip shop. It's that common. Normal salt is nowhere near as used. Really? And what is this chicken salt? So is it like a dried chicken thing in it of some sort? Is it like, what is it? French and fries. French people didn't invent fries. Waves fist. Oh boy. Cal. Well, Cal is from the land of the mussels and frites, right? That's, Belgian fries. A Canadian drives a van around Switzerland serving us poutine. Oh my God. Worship and adore that Canadian. I've had to explain the point behind gluten way more times than I should have to. It's true. It's true. One does have to sometimes. Okay, yes, there was. Although perhaps my thoughts on poutine are influenced by the habit of the British Northerners to put gravy on chips. You know what's really good too is curry and chips. The Brits are really good at putting curry on their chips, and curries and chips is a very, very good combo. All right, so we should start calling them Belgium fries. Is that it? Oh my God, Cal's going to have like a ban hammer for anybody who says French fries now. It's going to have to be Belgium frites. I made a salt. It was a salt made to put on cooked chickens, but it didn't take off, so people started putting it on chips. It's like crack for Aussies. You tell them you have chicken salt, and they'll turn up in droves. Really. Curry sauce, though, and chips is very good, yes. All right, folks, I'm beginning to lose the will to live, and we're talking a lot about food, which means I'm probably hungry, and I've already said you don't want to know me when I'm hungry, or be near me when I'm hungry. So I'm going to wrap it up. Tech Bandits tomorrow. We're going to be doing some gaming bandits tomorrow. I don't know if we'll do PC build or not because I want to make sure that the other kids get a chance to talk gaming. So we'll see. Although maybe I will. We'll see. I'll talk to Raccoon Noodle about that and see what the deal is on that. But so we may do some PC building. We'll definitely do some PC gaming or some gaming chatter. And what else? And then Friday, I think I'm off Friday. I think I'm filming on Thursday, but I'll probably be over before anyone even gets up. Like I might have like a 5:30 a.m. call or something ridiculously horrible. Sorry, 5:30 a.m. pickup where I get to sit in the back of a van with a mask on or something. I don't know what the deal is anyway. Eating while typing here. Tortilla chips, mindless eating. I know that's the problem. Mindless eating is the best type of eating. Thank you, Legend. Thank you for calling me Legend. It's a full-time job. Cal Rear. No, we invented a separate technique to prepare the... Are you still going on about your damn fries, Cal? Oh my God. Get off your high fries. Oh my God, that's pretty awful. All right, David, go feed yourself. Thanks for the stream. 3 hours went by fast because you're the best. What? Cal? Cal, is that you? Cal, are you okay? Talk to me. If you smell burnt toast, I know it's over for you. All right, joined late. Is that a Splatoon shirt? It is a Splatoon, an official Nintendo Splatoon shirt. It is indeed. Look, always a pleasure. Yes, thank you very much. Honestly, I do this for me, not for you. I'm so glad you enjoy it too, but frankly, I do this for my own enjoyment. So yeah. Oh my God. All right. It's time for more coffee, for some food. Yeah, someone must have hacked Cal's account. That's the only thing I can think of. Again, DStat, thank you so much for being our sponsorship level patron, our one and only sponsorship level patron. Thank you to our Patreons. Thank you to our subscribers. Thank you all for just being a part of this, frankly, and everybody who's made donations. Really appreciate it for the Tech Bandits, and also just really appreciate you showing up. This has been really fun. Yeah, I will. I will have to see you tomorrow, I guess. Yeah, tomorrow probably 11 a.m. for Tech Bandits, or 11-ish, as we know. And I got to figure out how to turn this off. Oh, I see. It's just a button now. All I have to do is press a button, so I got to make sure I get it right. Yes, thank you all. And I will thank our mods, even though Cal has done nothing but abuse me. One compliment. She thinks one compliment at the end of the stream is going to do it. It ain't work like that, Cal. But anyways, Cal, thank you very much. Ruby K. Anyone else? Is anyone else modding that I should know about here? Are there any mods that I should be aware of? Am I missing any mods? Cal, are there other mods I should know about? Is there a way to list the mods or something? And I promise you, I will do those recordings, by the way. I haven't got to the recordings yet. I've been moving everything around, so I've got to figure out... Maybe I'll just record them here. Now that I've got the setup with the Rode here, if I shut off all of the... if I shut off the Drobo and close the doors and turn off the PCs and stuff, it should be quiet enough that I might be able to record those voice answering machines for you all. So, yes, you can hit the user link on the top right. That'll show you the mods online. Wait a sec. Hit the user link. Users in chat. Mods. So we've got Cal, the Nightbot. That's my favorite one. And Ruby K, my second favorite one. All right, thank you, mods, very much. Darth Tigger, thank you very much. You have a mod view that you can use. There you go. I'm in mod view, aren't I? Oh, I am. Wait a sec. Try mod view. What does that do? What's this? Mod view. I'm checking it out. Yeah, but the chat's gone. What? What's going on? What the hell? What is this world of mod view? What is this? I can see what... Is this Cal's world? Have I entered... Oh, look at that. Cal is your third favorite. Yep. Darth Tigger, I could... Oh, this is neat. Mod view's fun. And users in chat, so I can just click... What happens if I click on someone? Look, let's say I click on Cal. What happens? Oh, I can see everything that Cal said? Oh my god, this is amazing. I can ban Cal. I can report Cal. Oh, this is amazing. What does mod view look like? Can I share it? Is there a way for me to share that? Oh, no, I probably shouldn't. Here, welcome to my channel. Have everything you need to know. Yeah, maybe not. It's pretty neat. It's pretty great, I gotta say. There's got to be a video on it somewhere, but I mod for Barnacles. Oh, very fantastic, Darth Tigger. So you know how to drop the hammer. So because Barnacles is he's like now he's in the full pre-election mode, and he and I share some political beliefs as to who should be running this country and who shouldn't be. And Barnacles is full into it. I try to avoid politics because I feel like first off, I don't feel like my opinion on this should have any more bearing than anyone else's. And also, everyone has their own reasons for stuff. I feel like, I have definitely a lot of issues with the political situation right now and the way the world is being run. But at the same time, I also just feel like this isn't the place. I feel like I'm not going to convince anybody who's convinced to vote Trump at this point is not going to be persuaded out of it, and I'm not the person to do it. James T's like, weren't you going to leave? Subtract yourself from the equation. Yeah, I just feel like, there's stuff worth talking about in the world and things that we want to do, but I also just feel like, I feel it's a bit like if you start doom scrolling with COVID, I feel it's the same thing. I just don't know if you can get anywhere. I don't know where you can go with that. You know what I mean? You can't reason a person out of a position they didn't reason themselves into. Yeah, maybe so far. 5.3 thousand followers. Woohoo! It's a full-time job. Baz was very excited at 5K, I've got to say. Very, very excited about that. So, all right, you're right, Xenos. I'm out of here. Everybody, thank you so. Yeah, I am American, so I can vote. Sorry, I have to do this. Well, I got distracted, but I am American, I am British, and I am Canadian. So I can vote. Can I vote in England? I guess I can't vote in England because I'm not a citizen there. But I am. I can vote in Canada and I can vote in the States. You vote in the state that you were last living in. So I vote in the California elections, and my God, those things are endless because you vote on everything in California. All right, I'm leaving. I swear to God, I'm leaving. Paperclips, how are you, Paperclips? Good to see you. I'm sorry, I gotta run. I gotta go. I'm done. It's been 3 hours or something. I can't talk anymore. I gotta eat something, otherwise I'm not gonna make any sense. Or I'm gonna make even less sense. Get out. Leave. For God's sake, go. Go on without me. Please go on without me. Everybody, I'll see you tomorrow at 11 a.m. EDT. That's the plan for some Game Bandits. So again, I won't be... Well, I can't be any worse at dealing with the chat than I am right now. So, all right, everybody. I'm gonna go and say... Oh my God. I'm gonna go deal with my food hole. So until we geek again, I will say cheerio and huzzah! And then I will press a little button and it stops. It's so cool.